I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been higher than a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat. Yo, grew my hair and took the grill out. Think it's time to put it back in. Trying to get into that big house, turn the crib into the mansion. Needed something with that big bounce. You know I had to hit Jackson. Aaron Rodgers with the quick routes. I'm with the gang, we packing. We on the field at Lambo. Might peel in a Lambo. Running drills in my camo. They know what the M stand for. Still got fam in Hawaii, yeah. Couple fans in the lobby, yeah. Couple grand in my pocket, yeah. Couple grams of wasabi, yeah. Eye it up, no glasses. Light it up, no matches. Wife it up, no ratchets. Might turn my wife to an actress. And we gon' make a movie, no Kim K. Give a fuck about what your friends say. I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been higher than a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat.
I'm just sticking to the code, I keep it so G. She asked me what I smoke, I'm smoking OG. I don't fool with too many, only catch me 4 deep. Gotta stay away from snakes, swear these people so creep. I've been grinding for a minute, many labels so sleep. These rappers drop a song, be hot for about a week. I put Gucci on my toes, I keep some cold feet. I ain't paying for no hoe, you niggas know me. I'm about to body the beat. I keep me a hottie with me. She wanna for a fee. Give me that for free. Keep me some money on me. Smoking the gas, keep. You with me, sheesh. But need cheap keep.
I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been higher than a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat.
Hop in the car, watch it go vroom, vroom. I told her mom that I blow soon, soon. Knew as a child, back in the womb. Oh, told her step back, I need my room, room. Hop in the car, watch it go vroom. I'm in a whip, so I gotta zoom. They tryna talk, they not in the room. I been so real, I'm dead to the tomb. They in the way, they gotta move. I got a gas, they running them fumes. Told them way back, it's something new. It's me and Dan, you gotta choose. I'm taking what's mine, I'm doing fine. Don't see the vision, they looking so blind. I hit my lower, I don't got the time. Crossing my T's and he dotting those eyes. Don't take offense if I do not oblige. I can't relate but like none of these guys. They hit me once and I'm cutting the ties. I was so low but I'm back on the rise, it's real. Hop in the car, watch it go vroom, vroom. I told her mom that I blow soon, soon. Knew as a child, back in the womb. Oh, told her step back, I need my room, room. Hop in the car, watch it go vroom. I'm hopping now I gotta go. I'm looking back, they not even close. I had a 4, now I need a ghost. I got a wave like I'm on the coast. Same ones are down and I dare to show. So the way that I'm ballin', they think I'm a pro. I'm getting sick by the money I gross. They saying whoa, I told them all what this is. I told them all I don't miss. Said it's my time, look at this shit on my wrist. And when they shootin' this brace, I'm going in a new gig, gotta shift. I cannot stick to the script, I cannot wait. Watch how I get it and flip. It's just how I'm doing this shit and I'm gone. Just how I'm doing this shit and I'm gone. Hey, just how I'm doing this shit and I'm gone.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a land.
Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah, you about to see me on demand like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't ever going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On the road, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? We are live from the Frank Candle studio here as Bitcoin gets the push into pretty much almost perfectly the POC, sitting at about $118,245, guys. What a day. What a day to start off October with this nice push to the upside, guys. I'm going to cover all the price action with you. We'll take a look at the lower time frames. We'll take a look at the higher time frames. I'm going to show you guys the next targets for Bitcoin. If you watched yesterday's live stream, you will know that we had some local resistance that we wanted to break above in order to look up towards about $119,000 to $120,000. And good news, guys. We smashed right through that resistance. So is the next stop $119,000 to $120,000? Well, I'll help you guys understand the roadmap and the blueprint to see price potentially come up there. I'll break down everything. We'll take a look at the liquidation heat maps, the key levels, everything, the money flow, and maybe we'll get into a little bit of long-term stuff. I don't want to stick here and sit up here and try to predict if the bear market's here, if the bull market's just starting. But I will cover the long-term and just kind of we talked, I think it was yesterday, about some of the bearish signs we have on the higher time frames with the monthly candle close. We did confirm a monthly bearish divergence. Is this something I'm worried about? Oh, although the top did come in 2021 with the monthly bearish divergence, well, I don't know. We might not be in the same situation, but I'll break that down for you guys. Give you my 2 cents. We'll talk about the bullish case, the bearish case, and then I'll let you guys know which way I'm leaning and how I am personally playing these charts as far as my trades go. Let's see. Shout out to Spiritual Trading Podcast. Thank you for the super chat, brother. Let's go. Shout out to Spiritual Trading. Frankie, you know. Shout out to Spiritual. Let's go. Much love, Spiritual. In a platonic way, brother. In a platonic way. Much love. Thank you for the super chat, bro. And thank you for showing up to live streams consistently. We appreciate you, bro. But let's see. We got Gen Z in the chat. We got Coin Hoover in the chat. Said, show us that flavor and sauce. I'm feeling bullish. Time to short. Shout out to Coin Hoover. Hey, I like that contrarian thought process, bro. We got Wig 589. What is going on? He says, now y'all can have pumpkin spices. Stop trying to drop that ish on everybody. Okay, thanks. Good seeing y'all. You know who you are. Shout out to Wig 588. Somebody shilling pumpkin spice lattes in the chat. Dang. Shout out to the pumpkin spice lattes. What is going on? We got Jack in the chat saying liquidity. Well, we did just squeeze up and sweep the liquidity above the high. We'll go into the price action in just a second, but shout out to the Mafia. Full Melt Mike in the chat. We got tomatoes, garlic, and onions in the chat. He's making his own sauce in the chat. Let's go. We got McKay in the chat. Said, all eyes on Flotilla. I don't really even know what that means. Shout out to McKay. Welcome in. We got Mrs. B in the chat. We got Raza said, give me that 2 cents, Frankie. Well, guys, I'm going to give you a little bit more than 2 cents. I'm going to give you about $5 worth of sauce here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. Let's get into it. All right, guys, let's see. Shout out to Costas that I missed the Do More song. I'll play that. Maybe we'll play that as the outro. That's a good song. I don't remember which button it is. I'm going to have to try to find it. But yeah, let's take a look here, guys. So as you know, if you tuned into yesterday's live stream, well, I'll just bring you all the way back here just so you guys can kind of understand the context here. Obviously, we got our big rejection here from the golden pocket. We looked at this forever. We took the short at the top here, rode this all the way down where we had our next key level of support, which was sitting here, guys, at the 786 Fibonacci retracement. We talked about how important this level was going to be to hold, because if we lost this, this would indicate, at least to me, come on, I can't delete the right dang thing. Where is that? Give me that dang arrow. Just can't select the arrow here, guys. Bear with me. There we go. All right, so as we came down to the 786, guys, this was the last place to bounce in order to look for a potential low high, higher low, and a higher high, sweeping the liquidity sitting above this high, guys. And where are we sitting right now? Well, look at that. We held that 786. We came up and technically broke structure to the upside, or we at least got the break here with the wick. And two things, right? Well, we got the higher high, right? This was obviously the anticipation here based off the retracement on that 786 as well, not just the 786 retracement, but also the fact that we had this 4-hour money flow crossing into the green, indicating that the trend is likely to continue to the upside. And then on top of that, we were also looking at our major current volume profile here. I'll get this off the chart. I'll bring that back up in a minute. But obviously, as we were able to flip this value area low to support with that money flow on the 4-hour time frame coming into the green, or at least looking like it wanted to trend up into the green, we were anticipating potential pullbacks for higher lows and higher highs. A little bit of a, not a tragic, I don't want to over-exaggerate here, but we did have a long setup here in the Discord. If you guys saw the market update, literally from this golden pocket 786, and unfortunately, I was waiting for my entry trigger, which was going to be one last little drop down here. And if you guys remember, more often than not, you will see those lows come in. Back here, we had a sweep of the, we came down to the golden pocket, we front ran it, was looking for that last drop down before taking this little long to the upside, and we did get it. And more often than not, you will get that to happen. Well, we did have the long setup in the Discord here off the golden pocket 786, but we just did not get that second drop down, guys. So unfortunately, I don't catch every trade. I know it might seem like it, but I do not catch every trade. So I did not catch that long, but we knew with that 4-hour money flow coming into the green, just to dish a little bit of educational sauce for you guys, you get up here, you pull back. What are we looking for? Higher lows and higher highs to come, just based off that 4-hour money flow crossover into the green. And then on the higher time frames, right, you're looking for that higher low, and then eventually that higher high, looking for the break of structure. You know, obviously the POC was that next level that we were looking at, but more preferably, I was going to be looking for that break of structure to the upside, or at least a push above that high, for two reasons, right? We had the idea of the low, the high, the higher low, and the higher high. That is now pretty much played out. We also had some liquidity sitting up here, which we did finally come up and sweep. I think this happened while I was trying to get that video out. I filmed it. We talked about that little liquidity sitting up here, and then as I was getting the video out, editing it, and I think it was swept up while I was cutting the video. So, but we did get the little SFP here. This is something I want you guys to pay attention to, because obviously we have now swept that high with a pretty good amount of swing failure patterns, right? We got it on the 30-minute here, wick above, candle closure down below. We also got it on the 1 hour. We also got it on the 4 hour, right? So we got this SFP popping up on many different time frames. So, you know, obviously not impossible to get some turbulence here as we have pushed into this bigger level of resistance. Obviously, we already rejected the POC with some of the other levels we had up there, but now we have swept that liquidity. So, you know, I'm open to some pullbacks here. I've actually taken a little bit of a scalp short there, but don't take this as a signal, guys. I am short here. In a little bit of a low-risk trade here, right? And now, why is that? Well, based off our 4-hour money flow, guys, as we've been looking at ever since, I mean, I guess Monday, since the beginning of the week, seeing that money flow cross over into the green, like, what is the overall anticipation here? Also, looking at your volume profile, right? Get above the low. Where's the next likely place for price to go? Even if you just wanted to look at it from a volume profile perspective, very, 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 very simple here. Flip the value area low. Next stop is that POC, and you see that come in absolutely beautifully. But with that 4-hour money flow still coming into the green, right? Obviously, we have the 4-hour red dot looking to print. I don't think you're going to get the bear div here. It is a little bit of an exaggerated bearish divergence. But at the end of the day, guys, this is not like, could you just get a massive dump from here? Potentially. But with this money flow crossover into the green, right, what is the anticipation? Well, it's the same anticipation as it was back down here, right? We could get a little rejection. I think we had a local golden pocket here. We got the pullback. And then, you know, where were we looking for support? Right on that value area low for a higher low and a higher high to come, right? Because the money flow coming up and makes us anticipate that the trend will continue to the upside. And it's the same situation here, right? So if we do get pullbacks here, I'm not going to be shocked if I get stopped out of this long position, short position, because for two reasons, but one of them being, if we want to come out here first, right, maybe I'll just stop out, you know, sooner than later. But if not, we do have some bearish confirmations SFP, bearish divergences, red dot looking to print on the 4-hour. If we do get the pullback from here, I will very explicitly be expecting higher lows and higher highs. And why is that, right? Well, just that money flow coming into the green, guys. This helped us identify the trend here and the potential continuation of the overall trend here with that 4-hour money flow crossover to the green. It's the same thing here, right? So resistance will potentially resistance, right? Giving us that pullback. But the idea here is going to be higher lows and higher highs. And I'll show you some of those key levels of support I'll be looking for down here because there are a couple. But that's kind of the overall thought process. We got the SFP. Be aware of it. Sometimes we can get pullbacks off of these. I would hope, right? I mean, me personally, I would like a little bit of a pullback here so I can get that short into profit. But if I stop out, no big deal. I'll take a small loss on that position because my overall anticipation here, guys, within the volume profile, you guys know, get above the low. POC is next. Sure, you could see some turbulence on the POC, but especially with money flow coming up, we can look for that continuation. Once we flip that point of control into support, remember, we still have liquidity sitting above about $119,000, leading us into the $120,000 value area high, which will be the next target, or the target that we've been looking at for quite some time, right? We looked at this yesterday. For the full fill, the volume profile. This would be very nice to see this profile fill in full. And yeah, I mean, that is going to be my overall anticipation, even if we do pull back here. So the question is, where can we potentially hold support? If we do get a little bit of a pullback for a higher low and a higher high, where can we be looking? Well, I'm going to point you guys into the previous range volume profile, right? Now, obviously, this range is pulled over this value area, but I've extended this to the right as we are back inside this area of balance. But this all started with a previous volume profile, which I stopped the pull right here before we got the big drop to the downside. So we do still have this area of balance. We're now above that value area low, which is very nice. So I would say a pretty significant level of support for me, if we do get a pullback from here, is going to be this local value area low, or this previous value area low, sitting at about $115,000. Now, there are some other levels as well. I'm going to pull some fibs. We're going to take a look at some other stuff. But this value area low is just simply going to be a level that I'm going to be looking at, right? We had the POC sitting in here at 118,250. We came up and tapped that, right? And again, you know, I know it gets confusing looking at these previous ranges and then the current range, but all I've done is extend that profile all the way to the right, incorporating all of this price action. This previous range is not invalidated just because we have that full range on the chart, right? This is still an area of value, and we could still use it for context on levels that might be respected by price. So if we do get the pullback, and we do come down here, again, this comes in at about $115,000. If we pull some Fibonacci retracements, I'll pull it from this low all the way to the high. You can see our golden pocket sits right in there on that value area low, right? Kind of similar to our current range value area with the golden pocket, 786. On the value area low. Break above it, higher low. Where's that higher low going to come in at? Golden pocket 786. Also, that value area low is a very key level. Boom, you get the higher low and the higher high. It's a similar situation here, just looking at the different range, right? We're looking at this separate range, and whether you pull it from this low or this little this kind of aggressive higher low here, it still kind of just gives you that same zone. This brings you up to about 115.5 all the way down to about 114.6. So just generally, I would love, if we did get a pullback here, I would love to stay above here for a very clean higher low and then continue up through that profile again, bringing you up between that $119,000 to $120,000 level, which we all know we have liquidity sitting above. Let me see if I can pull this up. Pull it up on the 2-month time frame. Take a look at the heat, or 3-month time frame. Let's see here. I might have to pull up a different heat map other than CoinGlass here. See if this will load up. Okay, there we go. So let me just pull this up real quick. Bada boom. So if we look here, you can see sitting here. Well, actually, interesting. I don't know why I can't show that candle. Let me show the candle, dang it. Well, anyway, you can see here liquidity running up to about 118K, right? This is kind of where we came to take out. Actually, let me pull up this other heat map here. Hang on one sec, guys. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. Let's see here. Okay, so let me actually pull up this heat map. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. We got an alert coming up here, 117.7. All right, so here we are, right? Looking at this heat map, you guys can see sitting between about $119 up to about $120,000. Another pretty big level of not resistance, but a pretty big hotspot of liquidity, right? So this can act as a magnet for price. We've looked at this many times. We've been looking at this all the way since back here, right? It's pretty much sitting between these two levels where we have a weekly MPOC and a value area high sitting at 120K. So just simply put, if we fill this whole profile, that would be the final target. We also have the liquidity potentially looking to sweep us up there. And this could end up in two different ways. If you guys saw the market update that I dropped earlier today, you will know we kind of talked about, this could be two different things, right? We can come up and sweep that liquidity for another big rejection to the downside. And I want to bring this level up, guys, when we start talking about the long term. Are we going to break out into a new parabolic move to the upside? Is the top in on Bitcoin? I know it sounds crazy as we get this pump to the upside, but as always, right, I got to be the guy that shows you the information on the charts. I'm not saying the top is in or anything like that, but I'm going to give you guys just the information that I'm looking at and the things that I'm keeping an eye on to not get caught off sides here. So let me look at this, right? If we can get up there, two things: sweep liquidity for a potential pullback, or this could potentially just be fuel to help us squeeze to the upside. And this $120,800 786 is obviously going to be the line in the sand to get above in order to look for new all-time highs. Once we get above that 786, that is where we're going to be looking for a potential push into new all-time highs. Now, am I expecting this to be the beginning of the bull market for a massive parabolic move into, $200,000? It's not my base case, guys. I do still think if we get above this 786, and it is an if this then that situation, guys, potentially we could even see something similar to what happened up here at 125K, right? We could come up, we could sweep above those highs, and if we wind up closing weekly candles below that 786, it could be a bearish scenario where we see that bigger rejection to the downside. But in the same kind of fashion, right? Like, this is also the doorway to all-time highs. So, we've been talking about how this has been an absolute pucker fest on Bitcoin. Are we going to break into new all-time highs? Is the top in? Oh, my God. Everything is just like, we are just like literally at that moment where we are probably going to see the play out of either of these situations, whether it is that move up or that big rejection back down. But this is the level to look at, in my own personal opinion, $120,800. That is the 786 to break and then flip to support. Because as you guys know, back here, when we came up to our full 786 Fibonacci retracement, we came up, we got a little bit of a rejection, then we got back above it. But when you look at this from a high time frame perspective, it was really just a rejection of that 786. We kind of swept above there, but then the weekly candle closed below. This is something I am going to be aware of just because of where we are timing-wise in the cycle. It is getting a little bit late in this cycle, which means either we're going to get the show on the road very quickly here and we're on the cusp of something very exciting, or we could see the bearish reaction as well. So maybe I'll cover that a little bit more. But just to bring that up, right, the 786 sitting up here, $120,800. That is the level to get above, in my opinion. We have a little low-tick daily MPOC up here, but for the most part, once you get above that 786, it invalidates the idea of continuing that downtrend, and that is where I look for all-time highs. And to be quite honest, guys, we were looking at that local resistance here between the daily and the weekly MPOC. And we just ran right through that, right? No setups to take a short, just ran right through it. So we simply wait for that next target. And if you tuned in last night to the live stream, that was the level to break. And another, what the heck are all these alerts? I don't know where these alerts are coming from. But if we got above this level, right, the next obvious spot for price to go is going to be into that POC, and that's what we're hitting our head on right now. So flip this. I'm looking up towards 119 to 120 to the weekly MPOC and the value area high. Same plan as yesterday, right? We're just further along. So very, very nice to see. And hopefully, guys, we could see the final stages of this bull market, like literally the first day of October, we get the push to the upside. But it's these days, right, where you really have to lock in and keep a logical outlook on the market and not let the FOMO get you, and not let the green candles kind of like muddy up your overall outlook, because market cipher B on the 4-hour obviously looks good for the continuation up to these levels, but this is really decision time up here, right? So even if we get up here, it's like still got to be a little bit careful. Once we get above there, hey, we're home free. We could potentially look for new all-time highs. But when we look at the higher time frames, guys, right, we had the daily money flow starting to crack back into the green. This is still pretty choppy, in my opinion. It's nice to see money flow in the green, but it is just, we're in the green, we're in the red, we're in the green. This could just roll back over into the red. So there's nothing really to take away from this until we see a significant push up on money flow. Then we look at the two-day money flow, kind of the same thing. We're getting a little push up, but we do have to be careful that this is not just going to be some kind of a lower high for a continuation of the overall downtrend, because we're using this high time frame money flow to anticipate, right? If we want massive new all-time highs, what do we want to see on money flow? Well, just look back in the past, right? Why were we looking for massive new all-time highs when we were dipping down here and pushing our way to the upside? Well, look at your two-day money flow. Your money flow was in the red, and then you got it to cross over into the green, indicating your longer-term trend would continue to the upside, and we wound up seeing that play out. But we just have a different situation right now. Money flow is generally, as of right now, trending to the downside. Doesn't mean you can't get the fake out, but just understand you have to be looking at this as you're hoping for a fake out. And to add insult to injury, or just to add a little bit more mud into that water, it's like the two-day money flow is trending out. The 4-day money flow is also aggressively trending out. The 5-day money flow is also trending out. We have the green dot, which is nice locally, but then your 6-day money flow looks okay. Your weekly money flow looks okay as well. And then you look at the 3-day, and the money flow looks totally fine. The money flow looks really good here. We're making a new high on money flow on the 3-day. So it's really like it's the 2-day money flow and the 4-day money flow that look really suspicious, but everything else is kind of just like mixed signals. So it's just like even more reason to be very, very cautious here. I am praying that we can get one more push up on Bitcoin, get above here, and push into new all-time highs. Again, my next targets to the upside, guys, are going to be between $130,000 and $137,000. If we get up there, I will reassess the situation and try to figure out if there's a high probability of a bigger continuation or if we're seeing macro tops come in on Bitcoin. And at the end of the day, guys, I'm just not one of those people that are in the camp that this is going to be the start of the bull market. I don't know how people can argue this. I'm not saying it's impossible to see price run up to 200K. Maybe we see something like crazy happen. But for me personally, I am going to, once we get up in here, it is looking like it could be that last little parabolic move before the top comes in. Hopefully, we're proven otherwise. Hopefully, the TA looks different up there. But just to, people are saying like, keep seeing it. I'm more on TikTok and Instagram. Maybe the quality of content on Instagram and TikTok are a little lower. But it's just like I just see tons of people being like, the bull market is finally here. This is what you guys have been waiting for. And maybe it is time eventually for the altcoins to shine. But as far as Bitcoin goes, guys, like people who are saying this bull market is just starting, like they just missed the bottom. Like this bull market is not just beginning. As a matter of fact, timing wise, we're getting very, very close to potentially coming to an end. Doesn't mean not new all-time highs. Doesn't mean the altcoins won't pump. But this is just my overall thought process. We're gonna have plenty of time to think about this and assess it as we come up. But this is the big stuff, right? Like if just from a very simple perspective, if I just break it down here, and we don't look at like all the super, super intricate levels. We're holding that 786. We saw the higher high come in, which is very nice. And now the last line of defense, guys. The last battle, the final boss. Get up here. And again, it's not always a clean little like boop, boop, right? Or a clean boop, right? Usually it's much more confusing. It looks nice and clean on a higher time frame, but if you come to the lower time frames, guys, it's like this whole situation is very, very confusing, right? It's like you break above, you're like, oh my God, that's the doorway to higher prices. Oh no, now we're getting accepted back down below. And funny enough, we were able to look at the charts here and assess that situation and take another long position here on the POC of this range. I'm not going to pull up the range, but we took a long on the POC here for a new all-time high to come in. But it's like, gets really scary, right? Because if you're just looking at this as the level, it's like, oh my God, we're above it. Oh my God, now we're back down below it. Oh my God, now we're back above it. But we actually navigated this very well in the premium Discord, shorting the absolute top here. Not the absolute top. It was, I think my short was at about 122K. But this is kind of how it could play out, right? You can get above that 786, you can go back down below it, back above it. Really what you want to see here are those high time frame candle closures above. And what happens? You don't get the high time frame candle closure above, and what happens? You get the lower high and the lower low to come in. It's going to be very similar when we get up here. This is the final boss, but it's not just like the second we break that level, I'd be anticipating massive new all-time highs. You have to be aware that there is going to be noise. There's going to be ebbs and flows. Price moves in waves, right? So just be aware. And looking at that as a kind of example of how that can look, it could get very complex, very confusing, very complicated up there. So it's just important to keep your cool, right? You're not just going to like up here. A lot of people, if you were feeling FOMO, oh my God, we're above that key level. We're going into new all-time highs. Sure, you get the all-time high. But if you don't know what to look for to actually get accepted for that lower low to come in, you're going to get caught off sides there. But instead, if you understand how the TA works and you know what to look for, you can actually be on the right side of that trade and enjoy that move down like we did. So yeah, but that's really the big level here from a very simple perspective, guys. Get above this 786, right? We've already kind of rejected the golden pocket, but this is the zone. It sits between 100 and where we are right now, 118K pretty much, all the way up to 120,800. This is the level to get above, not this. Right? We could see that happen, right? We need not only this, but we also need high time frame candle closures above. So we'll see. We have to let time go by to see if that's going to play out. But these are the levels to look at. Mark these out on your chart. It's a simple Fibonacci retracement. Golden pocket 786 pulled from the all-time high to our current low. Very simple. Then when we pull up the local levels, we could kind of build out our thesis on like, hey, is it probable that we're going to get that big push up? Well, hey, based off our 4-hour money flow, we can potentially look for either a pullback from that SFP for a higher low and a higher high, or, maybe we just squeeze up there right now. That liquidity sucks us up when we push up there. But these are the levels to look at. This is what I'm anticipating. And if we do get the pullback, just watch these levels here between about 115.6 all the way down to about 114.7. Golden pocket, 786, value area low, and we also have this tapped daily and tapped weekly naked point of control sitting right here. That was our key last level. Get above here, we look for the POC. If we get turbulence, we would love to flip those into support before continuing higher. And money flow on the 4-hour, at least, is pointing towards that. So we'll see. It actually does look a little... Yeah, it does look a little bit bearish divergency, if I do say so myself here on the 4-hour. Maybe we can just push up here, right? Because we're looking for a potential 4-hour bear div to print here. Green dot printing, lower high on our momentum waves. That would call for another break of structure to the upside here. So we'll see. We'll set an alert here on that point of control, see if we can break above it. But yeah, that's what we're looking at, guys. Let me come into chat real quick, see what you guys are thinking. Is the top in? Are we just getting started? Let me know. Are we going to 500K? Let me know. Squeeze it. Shout out to the future Wes. Says, squeeze it, baby. Squeeze those shorts. Squeeze them, squeeze them. I'll be part of that short squeeze, honestly. Now I have a little bit of liquidity up there as well. But let's see. Shout out to Zero Cool. Says, market makers letting retail get excited, then they will dump it. Shout out to Zero Cool. Oh, man. Oh, man, that would be brutal. Let's see here. Whoops. Shout out to Black Mamba. Shout out to Black Mamba. Says, Frankie, it's classic distribution. Will suck the bulls in for a fake breakup and then pump, then dump. Shout out to Black Mamba. And that is what I would definitely be careful of when we come up to approach these highs, right? If we start approaching this, right, you do have to be aware of that fake out. I mean, my brush tool is just completely broken here on the higher time frame. But, yeah, that would be, I mean, very similar to up here, right? Get everybody excited, trap them, send it back down. Definitely could be the situation, right? I'm never going to be someone that's sitting here is like, oh, my God, guys, definitely new all-time highs, right? Unless I had like a really, really good feeling about it, right? Back here, come on down to a little bit of a lower time frame, right? Like down here, looking for new all-time highs, down here looking for new all-time highs, down here looking for new all-time highs. But this was a different part of the cycle, guys. We are getting very, very, very close to a very long cycle here, right? We've covered this so many times. We're holding the bull market support band. Like, if we're going to get going here into a new all-time high, it's got to happen very, very quickly, in my opinion, right? It's not that you can't see an elongated cycle. Maybe this time is different, but that's just not my base case. And when you start to look at the bearish signals that we were looking at yesterday, you will know, right? Like, when we were talking about the monthly close, right? Well, we also did confirm monthly bearish divergences here. Higher highs, lower highs. When else did we see this, guys? We also saw this back in the 2021 top. Bearish divergence on the monthly. Bearish divergences on the 2-week. Higher highs, lower highs. We have pretty similar situation playing out here on Bitcoin right now. Higher highs, lower highs on the 2-week, and we also have it on the monthly. Now, does this mean that it's guaranteed to just, I'm not saying it's guaranteed that the top is in. That's definitely not what I'm saying. As you guys know, as long as we hold above 107K, I would say that doorway to new all-time highs is open. But you just can't unsee this stuff, right? Especially as a technical trader, right? Like, when I see a bearish divergence, like, I just have to take that at face value. Right now, we did have some bearish divergences forming. Was it a 2-week? Yeah, we had a 2-week bearish divergence forming here as well. And you might be confused, right? Because sometimes people will say, Frankie, what about the 2-week bear div? And here, right, anytime I see a big bearish divergence like this on a higher time frame, I am expecting more downside, right? But in this specific case, we had plenty of time to come in, put in a higher low, and then push into new all-time highs, which we got. So it's just because it's a mix of things, right? We have these bearish confirmations, and where we are in the cycle is the reason why this is such a pucker fest, right? It's it's a butt clencher, if you will. So hopefully we can get it, right? And if we do, that's nice, right? All, rainbows and butterflies. We go into new all-time highs. And then, unfortunately, I'll have to come in here and be like, all right, guys, we're coming up to our next Fibonacci extensions. Let's, if the charts look bad, right, I'm going to have to break the news for you guys up there. But, yeah, right now it's still just like a waiting game. We still have some 2-week green dots looking to print here. So, yeah, I'm just hoping we can get that last little squeeze to the upside here, guys. And that will open up the door to hopefully, see an alt season come in at some point, right? Take a look at dominance. We took a look at this yesterday, obviously. Nothing really to update here. We're just kind of in the same situation, but we do see this money flow coming up on the daily, right? This could indicate that Bitcoin might steal the show a little bit on a retracement, but overall, right, this is showing high time frame trend changes on the higher time frames, right? So even a push up here could still be a lower high and a lower low, which might mean, sure, it's going to take a little longer to get to alt season, but it does not invalidate the idea of it happening. So until we wind up getting above here and breaking back into this profile, well, then we can reassess the situation. But as of right now, I would still say we got weakness on dominance on the higher time frames, even though there's some local strength with the daily money flow coming up. I would say long term, that still looks pretty weak in my opinion. And just where we are in the cycle, if Bitcoin can break out, I mean, see if we can roll over those profits into the altcoins. So that's what I'm looking at. And is anybody in here from the premium Discord? I know we got some people in here. Should I share my it's like hard. It's like, should I share the mistake that I made, or not mistake, but like the total F up that I did? I just don't want to encourage people, because the F up did not end in me losing money. It actually ended up in me making money. But it's not a good trade. It's not a good trade, guys. Maybe I'll break that down. Somebody let me know. But let's see. Let's continue. We are going to take a look at the altcoins as well, guys. Let's see. Yo, shout out to Jesse. He said, spammer. Bye. Somebody got blocked. Somebody was shilling altcoins. But let's see. You mean the one you ended up making money? Yeah, I really hesitate to show this, guys, because what I like to show on this channel, right, or at least teach, is sound risk management, sound trade management, and always setting your stop loss. But in turn, right, you guys know I am not someone, like, I'm not only going to show my wins. I even make videos. I made a video not too long ago about a trade, again, that I won, but I totally should have lost it. But I broke down that trade for you guys and showed you what I did wrong and what I could have done better, right? I have no problem showing when I make mistakes, because I know that it could help somebody out there that might be learning or making mistakes. And I think it's nice to see that, like, someone in my position can make those mistakes as well. I'm not perfect. I'm not a perfect trader. I don't win all my trades. Yes, I get stopped out. Who knows? Maybe I'll get stopped out of my short position here live. But I forgot I had a position open, guys, and this is not a good thing. And I hesitate to show this because the trade is up. But the only reason I am still up on this trade is because of pure luck. I had poor, terrible trade management on this position, and I opened up one of my exchanges thinking there was going to be no trade open, and I was up on a long. And you guys will remember, not too long ago, we talked about when we came down to this level, I looked to add to my long. I was long from 107K with the premium Discord here, and we were looking to potentially add to that position right here for a potential higher low and higher high. So I did add to my long here from $107,000, and then we wound up getting stopped out, and I stopped out in profit. I made a few $1,000s on that position, but on top of adding to a position, I also took a new position on one of my accounts, and I had thought that I had my stop loss set at break even. And this is going to, I think it's a good learning opportunity, because even though the trade is up, you guys are going to see how close I was to getting completely liquidated. But I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was an exchange glitch. I don't know if I just didn't double check it. Maybe I thought I said it. It doesn't matter, right? When it comes to trading, even if it's not your fault, let's say the exchange did glitch out, which I can't even say that's the case because I can't confirm it. Either way, right, even if it's not my fault, it's my responsibility, right? It doesn't matter. I should have double-checked the position, triple-checked the position. So I took a new position here, guys, and I opened up that exchange. And to my surprise, my trade was up $5,000 or $6,000, right? And just to point this out, guys, this is not cool. This is not a brag. As a matter of fact, I would classify this as a pretty terrible trade, right? Yes, I'm up over $6,000, but that does not equal a sound trade or a good trade or something that I would want to repeat. Because as you can see here, I don't know if you guys can see my liquidation price. My liquidation price was $108,240. And you can see I just barely missed getting completely liquidated on this position. And I'm just going about my business, trading on my other accounts, thinking I was stopped out at break even here. And I'm just like, nothing, no big deal, right? And little did I know that I was dollars away from getting completely liquidated on that position. And by some miracle, price turned around, and I was even looking for a lower low here to enter into a new long position, and I probably would have gotten wrecked on this position, which would have eaten up a lot of the profits I would have made on the move up if I did take a new long position. So literally missed this by $108,240, right? So like literally my liquidation was right here. Missed it by literally whatever this, what is this? Like $100, something like that. And it came up and saved me. This is not cool. I'm not bragging about this. Yay money, L execution, yay money, boo execution, L money, W money, L Trade Management. And I am the luckiest person in the world, guys. I'm pretty convinced on that when it comes to this situation because there's only like 2 other times that this has really happened to me. The last time this happened was 2 years ago on the 4th of July, where I was down almost, I think, $15,000 or $17,000 and almost got liquidated for the same reason. I thought I had a stop loss set. I don't know what happened. It doesn't matter what happened. It's still my fault. And I literally got saved by missing my liquidation by dollars. And I wound up closing that trade in profit. So, like, I just want to share with you guys, like, the point of it is you don't want to trade like this, right? Like, I deserve to get liquidated on this position. I do not deserve to be in profit here. Yes, it's great. Again, yay money. Terrible execution. I would never teach this or recommend that you trade like this, right? But a lot of people might be like, well, dude, aren't you happy? Like it almost liquidated you and then it turned around. If you were thinking like that, right, you're thinking in the wrong way, right? I would have rather gotten stopped out at break even here and then just caught a new long position or maybe even just missed this move. Like this was total luck that I did not get liquidated, and it's important, right? I make mistakes too. I just wanted to share that with you guys, and I was a little hesitant because it's like I know a lot of people are going to see this and be like, I'm not going to set stop losses because look at that. That might happen to me. But this is lucky, and more often than not, the market is not going to be that nice to you. And it is more often than not that you will take the lows before coming up. So the fact that I got saved on this, I don't know how. And it's the second time in a row, or third time in a row it's happened. And it is just pure luck, right? This is not look at this, great trade, right? Like this is, I mean, sure, I guess just monetarily it is a great trade. But, when it comes to execution and a trading plan, this is, if I trade like this, just think about how this would have went for me if I got liquidated, right? I would have lost a ton of money. And then even if I caught a long position here, right, like I'm just trying to get back those losses. Where if I got stopped out at break even here, right, I could have caught this long. I lost this trade, but I still would have made a bunch of money on this and it wouldn't have hurt my account because I got stopped out at break even. So just a little bit of, teachable moment for the Mafia. I was telling the premium Discord about this. It's like an embarrassing moment for me. Like, I have a ton of different accounts, guys, and there are once in a while I will not log into an account for a little while, and I come back and I'm like, oh my God. But for some reason, I don't know, like the crypto gods are watching over me because every time I do it, I'm in profit. I'm just like, oh my God. I was just like wrecked down here and had no idea. So there you go. Teachable moment. Don't do that. Please, for the love of God, don't do that. Listen to me. Learn from my mistakes. So, yeah. I guess I'm glad it happens far and few between, right? It's only happened a few times in the past few years. Let's see. Shout out to Golden Child said I just took all my stop losses off my trades. Thanks for the inspiration, Frankie. JK, shout out to Golden Child. Yes, guys, look at that gamble. No stop loss. If you want to make $6,000, then you can set no stop loss as well. I'm just kidding. Someone's going to take that seriously. Please, for the love of God. This transparency is to benefit you guys. I have no problem coming up here and showing flaws because it's the reality of trading. I don't want to come up here and be like, look, we only win trade. Well, I should have. Let's just pretend I got liquidated on that trade, guys, because that's what I should be showing you guys. And if I got liquidated on that trade, I would have sat up here and shared the same thing with you. That's why I was hesitant to show it, was because it was a winner. But I don't want to sit up here and make people think that I win all my trades and I'm a perfect trader. I never get stopped out. I never get liquidated or anything like that. It's just not the reality of trading. I think it's important when you go through the hard journey of learning how to trade that these mistakes are going to happen even when you have tons of experience like I do. But the problem is, or the lesson is, it does not matter, right? I always see a lot of people, and I would argue that it probably wasn't the exchange, guys. I probably thought I set my stop loss. I didn't double check it. I got a lot going on. It was probably just my fault. But even if it was the exchange's fault or an exchange, whatever, an exchange glitches or something, guess what? That's still your fault, right? It might not be your fault, but it's your responsibility, right? I should have double checked that position. I should have checked in on the account. And I just didn't, right? And that has to do with kind of those intangible skills that you have to learn while trading. It has nothing to do with the setup. It has nothing to do with any kind of like strategy. It just has to do with like being responsible and managing your trades. So there you go. Let's see. Shout out to Don Cripps at RIP to all those who shorted and sold, thinking the government shutdown would have made the market bearish. Shout out to Don Cripps. Yeah, someone asked me about that. Like, would the government shutdown make the market bearish? And I explain, right? Like, I don't really pay attention to this stuff, right? Like, why was I expecting a move up yesterday? Or a higher low and a higher high to come in here, especially if you broke through this resistance coming up into the POC. Why is that, right? Well, it just has to do with the charts, right? The money flow is coming up. We're inside of our volume profile. I just know that more often than not, when you get in these, flip the value area low to support, and your money flow is coming up, the trend is likely to continue up, and based off the volume profile, the POC is that next stop for price. I don't care about the government shutdown. I don't care about any news. I really don't. I truly don't. And it's not that I don't pay attention to any of the news ever or anything like that. It's not that the news can't move the market. It's just like I don't ever I don't add that into my decision-making like tool belt, right? Like I'm never like, all right, well, like the chart looks super bullish, but there's a government shutdown, so maybe I should just short it and ignore the technicals. It's never the case. So yeah, that's always my 2 cents on the news. Let's see. Also, make sure to not super chat your altcoins. Shout out to Jesse. Yes, please do not super chat your altcoins. I will take those requests from the free chat. And speaking of the altcoins, guys, let's go ahead and take a look here. We got Ethereum breaking back above its value area low. We got our key level here, value area low POC, sitting here between 43 and 42.62. Well, looks like we may be able, right? We have our 4-hour money flow crossing into the green. Same thing as Bitcoin, right? It's like almost the exact same situation. And let me actually extend this all the way to the right real quick. This is going to lower our volume profile exactly like we did on Bitcoin, right? This is all kind of fractal, guys. You like everything that we do on one coin, it can be applied to other coins as well, right? We have our previous volume profile. Yes, this is a key level, right? So let me actually get this box off the chart because this was resistance. This is now ran through. So at the end of the day, right, this is our previous volume profile, value area low at about 42.64. This is a key level, right? If we get pullbacks, you know, aggressively, you could hold this low. And if you do, with money flow continuing to come up, well, guess what? You could potentially look at your POC, or I'm sorry, your golden pocket with all these daily and weekly MPOCs sitting here as your next target. The POC was kind of really close to the value area low, so you could kind of look at this as a zone, right? So I'll actually redraw this box. I'll just make it blue because this would be a level you want to hold. Now, do I think this is going to hold? I don't know. I mean, it can, right? Like aggressively, if you want to hold the higher low, maybe you get the push up here. This would definitely be the next target, which would be sitting between about 44.72 and 45.26. However, if we don't hold this, right, and we break down below, what's the next level I'll be looking at? Well, I'm just going to pull this, just like we did on Bitcoin, to the current price action. And we have this new value area low sitting right down here at about $4,200, $41.92. So I'll actually label this Prev VP value area low. So this would be another level to look at, right? Because if I were just looking at this as our full golden, if I was just looking at this alone, right? Well, we got above the low. You go into the POC. If we pull back, that value area low is going to be a key level to look at. And then when we pull our fibs, let's see if we can get some confluence here from the low to the high. Well, look at that. You also have your golden pocket 786 Fibonacci retracement, right? So aggressively, if you could hold, obviously, regardless of what range you're looking at, right? If you hold above this POC, maybe you can get up there, right? But if you lose this POC, I would just be looking down here to the golden pocket 786, which would also give you another opportunity to keep those higher lows going. And then eventually you would hope to break above the POC and then target this next key zone of resistance, which does sit. Actually, this is going to be down a little bit lower. Actually, no. I'm going to take this fib off the chart. This was an older fib. We did make a new low here, so you have to update that Fibonacci retracement. But I would still say, right, all that confluence is still sitting up here in that zone. So you can be aware of this golden pocket. It does start at about $4,400. But I would still say the bigger area of confluence is sitting up here between about 44.80 all the way up to about 45.23. So I'm just going to take this off for simplicity. Understand it's there. It's just simply a golden pocket retracement pulled from the high to the low. But within the profile, I would say these are the biggest levels to look at, right? And then you have the value area high sitting at about 46.52, and this is your value area. This is what I'd be looking at, right? Maybe we continue up aggressively, right? Or maybe we come down and pull back. I would love to hold this as support before continuing up. Can we look for the continuation of that overall uptrend? Well, guess what? That 4-hour money flow is saying that it is possible. Maybe the red dot prints, that gives us the cool off. And then if we put in the higher low, money flow stays in the green, we can look for the higher low and the higher high, which I would be obviously looking for a break of this high, but really targeting between about 44.72 all the way up to about 45.20. It's the same thing that we looked at on Bitcoin, right? It's like we look at these two ranges, right? We have the current range value area sitting right here with the lower value area low, and then we have the upper range value area, right? So it's like, hey guys, you know, if we get up here and hold this level, that would be support, but if we lose it, we can look at the current range with the value area low here. What was the level that we held? It was the new value area low sitting at 112,612. So it's kind of the same situation, right? We're just looking at the current range and then the previous range. They're both in play, right? They're both valid. They're just two different ways of looking at price. So there you go. That's what I'll be looking at on Ethereum. 4-hour money flow does look pretty decent here, but I would be careful locally for some pullbacks based off the 4-hour red dot and bearish divergence coming in. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm not going to bring up this third range. This is obviously a little bit of a different range. I'm not going to bring this up because I don't want to confuse everybody. We'll just keep an eye on this value area. So there you go. And again, the biggest level for anyone who thinks like we're going to get another big dump, and I don't say that to say that we can't get another big dump. That kind of sounded sarcastic, but it wasn't. If we do get a bigger dump, right, still saying that this is the biggest level of support on Ethereum. Hopefully we don't have to deal with it, right? Hopefully we can just cook up. But we'll keep it up. We'll keep you guys updated as price action develops. Taking a look at Solana. Solana, still, right? We came up here. We got our bounce off the value area low where we had our local golden pocket 786. This is the level that we looked at yesterday. Based off the volume profile here, what is our anticipation? Well, obviously, once you bounce up, we already got the full rotation back to the POC, back to the low. Beautiful volume profile rotation here. We covered this every day so far. Push off the value area low. This is where you want to be looking for longs. Next likely place for price to go is going to be the point of control / 786 Fibonacci retracement. But if we can break above this POC, and more importantly, the 786, I think this is holding this POC is what is going to give you the doorway to some higher prices on Solana, potentially and eventually targeting the value area high once again, sitting at 248.50. Very simple, right? Value area of rejection from the high, POC, value area low. Bounce off the low, POC, potentially looking towards the value area high. Now, what does our money flow say? Well, we look at the 4-hour money flow. This is also coming to the upside, right? So we can see this money flow continue to trend to the upside on Solana. Pullbacks are accepted, right? But until this money flow comes out aggressively, we are going to be looking for potential higher lows and higher highs. Not that I'll be using that golden pocket as support, but as you guys know, within the profile, the point of control is the area where the most volume was transacted, and sometimes it can act as a magnet for price. You can see every time we come down here, it's like you do kind of stick to it a little bit, right? It's like, oh my God, we're bouncing off the POC. Is this a higher low and a higher high? It's like, take a deep breath. What does your money flow say the trend is more likely to do? Well, money flow is clearly trending to the downside, making you more likely anticipating lower highs and lower lows for an eventual loss of that POC and a move down to the value area low. What do we have now? It's literally the same thing flipped upside down. We bounce off the low. We come into the POC. Sure, maybe we bing bong around, but if that money flow continues into the green, guess what we're going to anticipate? Higher lows and higher highs. Literally this, but flipped upside down. Same exact situation, and we have money flow coming up. So yeah, I would just be careful of that 4-hour red dot. If we do get a pullback, I'd watch that 4-hour red dot. But if we can get that money flow to continue up, well, hey, let's cook through the rest of the profile. Honorable mention, resistance levels. We do have the full Fibonacci retracement. We marked these out yesterday. Golden pocket, these are intermediary levels within the overall thought process of rotating the profile in full. Right? Eventually, we're looking for the push into the value area high, but understand we can get turbulence on these levels, right? Maybe we push into the golden pocket, a little bit of turbulence. Maybe we push into the 786, a little bit of turbulence before moving our way up there. It can be an ugly and confusing fill, very similar to on the way up, right? You get in, POC, oh my God, big dump, back up, oh my God, now we're back. And at the end of the day, it's just a fill of the volume profile, right? It can be messy, can be confusing. So if you want to keep an eye on those intermediary levels, I would look at the golden pocket sitting between about 230 and 231, and then the 786 sitting up here at about 240. Break above that 786, obviously you're just looking to cook through the rest of the profile. So very simply put, these are the levels that I would look at on Solana, and I'll even mark these out so you guys can see the levels over here. You can mark these out. That's the golden pocket, 231.46 to 229.32, and then the 786 sitting here at about 240. So there you go. This would be more, right? If we get the hard rejection from here, right? Again, we're in the profile. Money flow is coming up. As long as money flow stays good, I would still anticipate the full fill of the range and higher prices to come. Again, the higher time frame money flow, guys, is like daily money flow looking pretty good on Solana. This is a pretty nice fake out on money flow. Taking a look at the 2-day. 2-day still coming up pretty nicely with an incoming green dot. This doesn't look that bad. 3-day money flow still healthy with the VWAP rolling up. What does this mean? Well, if we can get that 3-day green dot, this can help continue that push to the upside. It's really Bitcoin, right? Like the Bitcoin money flow, it's like it's just from a binary perspective, guys, is just chopped up. Is this bearish or bullish? Just from disregarding everything else, is this bearish or bullish? Correct, it's bearish. Is this bearish or bullish? Correct, it's bearish, right? It is trending out. You cannot argue that. You can argue if it's going to fake out, right? And I don't know the answer to that question. I would hope, right? So you can't ignore that, right? But then it's like you look at the 3-day, and it's like, all right, well, this looks pretty dang good. This is making a new high. Look at the 5-day. Well, this looks pretty bad, right? Then the 6-day, this looks pretty decent, right? And then the weekly, like this looks fine. So they're definitely mixed signals. So I just hope the bulls kind of pull through here. We can get the fake outs on money flow. If there's a time where I hope the TA doesn't play out, it's right now. Because obviously I am hoping and wishing for new all-time highs as much as the next guy. But you just can't ignore that other bearish stuff. On top of the bearish divergences, etc. It's just something to think about, right? Doesn't mean the top is in, but it is something to think about if we get a hard rejection up here towards those bigger 786s, or that one big 786 at about 120,800. Right? If we can't get above that level and we get another big drop down, what is that going to look like? It's going to look like a high, low, lower high, lower low, another lower high, another lower low for a massive big breakdown. And then once we break below 107K, it's a huge sign of weakness on Bitcoin. But the fact that we're holding this massive level of support of 107K, as we've been talking about forever, this is the level to stay above, right? We got real close to having to come back down and test that, but we put in the higher low and the higher high. This is very, very, very nice. If we lost this 107K, as long as we stay above this level, guys, I would say that at least, obviously, the move up to 120K is open, but potentially even new all-time highs. But I'm definitely on edge here, right? I'm ready to change my sentiment at the drop of a dime if I see the reason. Let's see. Shout out to Suncoast Goats. Hey, shout out to Suncoast Goats. You don't happen to be a goat dealer, are you? If you are, hit me up on Twitter. He says, thank you, Frankie. Because of your guidance, I have sold my car and my house and have purchased BTC. Yes, we're going to win. Shout out to Suncoast Goats. Let's go, baby. Let's go. If the bulls had their fun, market maker is gonna take price back to the CME. Shout out to Nani Shah. I don't know if I said that right. You're talking about the CME gap down at $92,000. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about that level anymore until it becomes more relevant. But we do have a CME gap down here. We might have some other local CME gaps. But everybody always brings up that 90, I think it's like a $92,000, $91,000 CME gap. You know, is it possible for that to get filled? I would say maybe, but you would have to lose that 7/8 golden pocket $107,000 zone first. Once we lose that, guys, like my sentiment changes a lot. The fact that we held this on the 786 by the skin of our teeth is right in time for October. Jeez, it's almost like it's written. Let's see. Yo, shout out to India Martini. Said, I applied what I have learned so far and managed to get a laser entry on Solana long at $192 into the golden pocket. Thank you, Frankie. Keep it up. Yo, let's go. Shout out to Indian Martini. I mean, that was a beautiful. I mean, this is, I will say this, right, to be fair. This was one of the, this is a very clean volume profile, like typical volume profile setup. It's like just beautiful rejection at the high, all the way back down to the low. And it's like even down here, right? You've already got a massive drop down. If you have reasons to look for a bounce, which you did have some bullish divergences down here, it's like it doesn't mean, like, even if you don't rotate this whole profile, it's like you're always going to be better off looking for the longs at the lows. Why? This is looked at as undervalued, or at least on the lower end of the fair value. Up here, it is looked at as expensive. This is why the volume profile works so well. Inside the volume profile is the fair value. Up here is expensive. Up here is cheap. So shout out to Indy Martini, just taking the idea of understanding that when price comes down to this key golden pocket, value area low confluence with bullish confirmations, there's at least a chance to get up here into some profit. And at this point, shout out to Indy Martini. I'll just give you a little bit of not financial advice, of course. I'm not a financial advisor, but just a little bit of analysis here. From the value area low to the POC, typically in a typical volume profile trade, right? The POC is take profit 1, stop loss to break even. At that point, you're in a guaranteed winning trade. If it dumps, you get stopped out in profit, you win the trade. If it continues up, well, guess what? You can cash in a little bit more on that trade to see if you can fill that entire volume profile. Me personally, I would take profit here, move my stop loss to break even in anticipation of eventually seeing the fulfill that profile. But I'm not going to get scared if it dumps down here, right? Because I don't care. My stop loss is down here. And if I do get stopped out, I'll still make money. So shout out to Indy Martini. Taking what he learns here on the Frankie Candles YouTube channel and putting it into effect. I love it. Yo, shout out to Suncoast Goats. Yes, I sell the best competition goats on the East Coast. #1. Shout out to Suncoast Goats. There's no way, bro. There's zero chance. Hang on one second, guys. He's got to have a website, right? There's no way. If you sell goats, man, you might have a customer coming in pretty soon here. There's no way. There's no way. All right, Suncoast Boats. Oh, man, I'm not seeing Suncoast Goats. Dang, man. That'd be the troll of a lifetime, bro. If you sell competition goats, bro, I don't even know what goats compete in, but I would want the best of the best. Phoebe's already number one. But let's continue on here. XRP, Near. Yeah, we could take a look at Near. We haven't taken a look at Near in a little while. Shout out to Indian Martini. Stop loss already at break even, and I took TP1 at 218. Let's go. Right at the POC. Literally learning on the live streams in real time. I love it. Shout out to Indian Martini, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Pat yourself on the back. I just help, right? I just give you the information. I guide you to where the hole in the ice is, but you put your line in and you caught the fish. Let's go. Yeah, we'll take a look at Near. K Diggity said you're going to make me cry. Shout out to K Diggity. All right, let's continue on. Shout out to Costa said, you got to pump it up. Don't you know? Pump it up. I got to get that on the stream deck here, man, because screw a copyright claim. That song is too lit not to play. All right, let's take a look at XRP real quick. XRP back inside the value area low. Absolute tease here, guys. Holding on to our key level, which is obviously the 786. We've looked at this level for quite some time. We have this 786 pulled from this low to the high. We come down. We slipped it. We tried to bounce. We slipped it. We tried to bounce. We came back down. Now we're back inside the value area low. To be quite honest, not a ton to update here. The biggest update is that we're back above the value area low. I mean, this is, maybe you keep playing around here, but this is the level to remain above. If you stay above this level, guys, the doorway up to this 786 at 305 is open. If we can get above that, we can look to push into the POC. This is your volume profile. Just going to keep this nice and simple on XRP. We've deviated below. We have the POC sitting at about, or value area low sitting at 291. That is the level you want to stay above. It doesn't mean that the second you lose it, you're going to zero. But at the end of the day, right, this is the level to remain above, to keep that doorway towards the POC open. So value area low, 291, POC sitting at 314, and then the value area high is sitting at 335. That is your volume profile that I'd be paying attention to. But you do have the intermediary levels here. We have a local 786 sitting at about 304. This is a level you have to be careful around on resistance. Once you flip that, right, this holding this value area low is the doorway to the 786. Once you flip the 786, well, you can start to push up towards that POC. And then I would expect some kind of turbulence there. Might be a long, confusing, choppy journey. Hopefully it's nice and clean. But once you get above that POC, that's where you can start targeting the value area high up here. Another intermediary 786 here at 323. But again, I don't want to overcomplicate things for you guys here on the live stream. I want to keep more of the local levels for the Discord where we're actually looking for the trades. But this is your volume profile. Your hope here is to hold on top of the value area low, push into the POC. That's your next big key level of resistance. Flip that, look to go into the high. Plain and simple. As far as our money flow goes, 4-hour money flow also crossing into the green. This is, I mean, I guess a little bit of a decent sign. You also have the bearish divergence forming here on the 4-hour. So I would say like kind of neutral here as far as what happens next locally. I would have to guess, right, at that 4-hour red dot prints, we're probably going to get another drop down, in which case the sentiment remains the same, right? Like you have to get above that value area low. And more importantly, you do not want to lose the 786. If you lose this 786, guys, I think there's a high probability that you're going to be headed down to 250 to 260. So that's what I'd be looking at on XRP. We could take a look at some of the higher time frames. 3-day green dot looking to print. That would be nice to help us through that profile. 2-day green dot is printing. That would also be very nice to help us through the profile with money flow attempting to come back up. 4-day green dot looking to print as well. So we have some high time frame green dots printing on top of that, which could help us with that 4-hour money flow crossover into the green to continue up. But we do not want to lose that 786, just being very clear. Actually, you know what? I'll update this level. I'll just pull this local 786, right? So if we do come down, it's a pretty similar. Yeah, it's a pretty similar level, but this would be the zone I would like to hold. Sitting right here between 275 and 280. Right, so we get that 4-hour to pull us back. You're hoping that you could come down here. We come down to the 4-hour, right? If 4-hour money flow continues into the green, sure you have the bear div, sure you have the red dot, but if that money flow stays in the green, what can you anticipate? Well, you could hope for a bounce off that 786. I mean, ideally, you hold this 786. Ending at about 284. So these would be some of the levels I would look at. They're just simple Fibonacci retracements. But really, I mean, you start losing these lows, guys. Going to be looking down towards 250 to 260. So kind of a moment of truth for XRP. Are we going to get in and send it to the upside, or are we just going to break down and send it to 250 to 260? Definitely a moment of truth. But we'll keep an eye on that. If anything crazy happens, next time we get like a big rip on any altcoins, I'll just probably drop altcoin-specific market update videos. Let's see. When I pull volume profiles on XRP, it's saying that the value area low is at 282, not 293. Why? Shout out to McKay. If you check out the volume profile tutorials in the beginner series on the YouTube channel, obviously 100% free, it'll show you exactly why. I mean, I don't know exactly where you're pulling it depends on where you pull your profile from, right? It also could vary from exchange to exchange, right? Like if you're pulling your profile like this, I don't know where you said yours is. What did you say yours was? 282. Yeah, it depends on where you have your range pulled from, right? If you have it pulled all the way over all of this price action, right, your value area low actually sits here at about 275, which is hilariously enough confluent with the 786 here. If you pull it back a little bit, right, this will adjust the levels because you're incorporating different candles into that calculation. Now the value area low moves up a little bit, pull it back here, value area low moves up a little bit more, pull it back here, value area low moves up a little bit more, pull it back over here, value area low moves up a little bit more, and then mine is pulled like this, right, which gives you that value area. So it depends on what candles you're selecting. But if you watch the tutorial video, I go into detail on like where you should be pulling these, how I personally pull them. But at the end of the day, there is no invalid volume profile level in my opinion. This is the way I pull them based off the way I use the volume profiles by marking out areas of balance. But, I mean, if I were just to pull a random volume profile here, I do this all the time, these levels are not going to be quote-unquote wrong because they are still being populated based off the volume that's being traded, right? You're just getting a slightly different volume profile, which could be different for many different reasons. The placement of the profile, the exchange that you're on. So there are differences there. But just be aware, like sometimes people will be like, my value area low is slightly different. And it's like, at the end of the day, you're getting this almost the same exact levels. Like let's say you have this pulled a little bit further to the right. Your value area low is a little bit lower than mine. Your value area high is a little bit lower than mine. Does that mean it's wrong? No, you're pretty much getting very similar levels. But there is a reason why I pull them the way I do. But there really is no wrong way to do it. So hopefully that helps you out. Let's see. Could also shout out to M Ford says could be also be the exchange. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, ADA. We're gonna take a look at. I'm gonna take a look at ADA. We took a look at XRP, Solana, Ethereum. We'll take a look at ADA. We'll take a look at HBAR. We'll take a look at NEAR. And we'll start off with NEAR. Let's jump into it. Take a sip of this Aztecian cactus moss water. All right, let's see here. Taking a look at NEAR. NEAR is nearing the value area low. I'm going to try to do some simple analysis on this. It's just so hard for me not to go into the weeds as I discover new stuff while I'm doing TA. But let's see here. All right, so again, 3-day money flow crossing into the green. Again, this is typically a good sign for altcoins, right? We have the last 3-day money flow crossover happen right here. What happens? Well, you would anticipate the trend to continue to the upside. The trend does continue to the upside. Usually a good sign. I don't know what it is about the 3-day money flow in altcoins, right? We looked at this on Ethereum. This was one of the earlier signals on Ethereum that we looked at to indicate the continuation of the uptrend, right? What happens? We get the, oh my God, we're dumping, right? Well, we're looking for higher lows and higher highs. Why? Money flow crossover into the green. So when we take a look at NEAR, it's kind of the same thing here, right? You're approaching a very, very key zone of resistance. POC, value area low. These are very close to each other, so I do tend to look at this as one zone, right? Kind of like one big level, just because they're so close. More often than not, your POC is going to be in the middle of the range, but when we look at it like this, I would say break back above this point of control. This opens the door to potentially come up and fill the rest of this profile, leading you up to about 630. Now, this value area high is obviously very confluent with the macro value area low, which is pulled from all the way back here in 2021, or 2021 and 2022. So these are the two areas of balance. You have balance here, you have balance here. We deviated below the profile. If you get accepted above this POC at about $3.31, that opens the door to fill the range up to about 630. At the same time, right, obviously we would expect resistance here. But once you get up here, sure, we can get resistance. But the interesting thing here is typically you look for longs below the lows in anticipation of getting back in the range and coming up. When you come up to the high, you look for the deviations above, very similar to this. Deviation above, back in, can't break out. You look to go to the POC and the value area low. If we get up here again with high time frame money flow crossing into the green, this would technically be a deviation above the profile where you could look for shorts back into the range. However, With money flow coming up, you have to be careful because as you deviate above this value area high, you're also potentially getting accepted into your upper range. So my hope here for the bullish case is that you can fill this volume profile, maybe get a little consolidation, maybe even a little pullback for a higher low and a higher high for the final breakout. But key resistance, but also a key flip of resistance, right? So your hope here, fill this first range, maybe get turbulence at the value area high, but once you could break out there and flip this upper value area low, well, then you could continue up through that profile, right? Get accepted into this area of balance, you expect it to fill. Get inside this area of balance, you expect it to fill. Now, let me pull some Fibonacci retracements here real quick from the high all the way to the low. I'll actually pull it from this high just because it's the most recent. So you can see, right? If I were just looking at this as a clean chart, nothing other than a Fibonacci retracement, I would be saying to myself, well, hey, if I could get a full golden pocket 786 retracement, this would be the place to put in a lower high and a potential lower low. If high time frame money flow is coming out, if it's coming up, I'm not anticipating the lower high. What I'm anticipating is a potential pullback for a higher low and a higher high. And you could see breaking above that value area low opens the door to continue up and potentially push into this value area up to the PLC and the high, but you're also flipping your 786 retracement, right? Similar to Bitcoin. You flip that 786, the lower high is invalidated, and you're looking to break structure to the upside, which would be this high right here. If you pull it from here, it would be that high right there, which also lines up with filling that range in full. So this is definitely the level. Range number 1, 280, call it. The zone, right? Because this POC and value area low are very close. So I would say between 280 and 335 is the zone to get above and flip to support in order to see the value area high fill to about 630. Value area low, 280. Value area high, 630. Once you come up here and figure out what's going on up here, once we get in here, that second range value area low is sitting at about 687. POC sits at about 1128. Value area high sits at about 1363. Those are the two ranges to look at. And again, you could take the fib off the chart, and as long as you know to pull it again, right? You don't have to have this living on the chart the whole time, right? You can get rid of that Fibonacci retracement and just look at it as two volume profiles. As a matter of fact, what I would recommend doing is actually looking at the ranges completely separately, right? I would just look at this one at first, right? This is much simpler to look at. It's like, well, hey, if we get accepted in here, I'm looking for the continuation up. I'll deal with getting accepted into that upper profile later. So these are the levels to look at. 627 at the value area high, POC at 331, value area low at 238. Flip the POC, looking up. If we just can't get out of here and we get some kind of like much bigger dump to the downside, I will say we are holding this nice level of support. If we can't get up there and we just wind up getting some kind of big rejection, key level to look at the weekly MPOC at about $1.71. If we lose that, well, yikes. Then I'm probably looking down towards about $1.15. So your hope here is to hold above these lows. All right, let's see. Captain Kirk in the chat. What is going on, Cap? We got Rob, the Crypto Snob. Guys, don't forget to show our mods some love in the chat. If you love them as much as we do, I don't know. Drop some hearts in the chat for the mods. Shout out to Wick589. Said, Rob, you're the effing man. You're the man. You're the effing man. Shout out to Wick589. All right, so that was near. Let's take a quick look at Cardano, or Cardanzo, as some of your grandparents might say. Nothing really to update here on Cardano, guys. I just don't want to beat the dead horse. We talked about this yesterday. You're between your two major areas of balance. You do not want to get accepted back down below 50 cents. You start losing 50 cents, guys. I'm looking for a major move down on Cardano. The nice thing is we're still very far away from this. Right? We're 36% away from that value area high at 53 cents. Don't want to lose this. You do want to get accepted into here, though, right? Until then, right, we're kind of in our own little volume profile in between the volume profiles, right? So I would just look at this. Key level, still 90 cents. If we can get up here, flip this to support, the next target I will look at is the point of control at $1.21. Simply put, I'm not even going to cover the rest of the volume profile. I'm just going to say this, right? Because like until we see this move, it's like not even worth it talking about what's going to happen after. And again, like I wouldn't say like this looks like a terrible, terrible chart. You have the low, you have the high, you have the higher low, you have the higher high, you have the higher low. Can we get that higher high? Well, you got to get back inside this profile. Right now, we have been absolutely attempting, right? So it's like we got to get in here in order to see that move up. The next major target would be $1.21, and hey, you know what? Screw it. Get above the POC. I'm looking up towards about $1.81. If we can get that to fill, I'll bring up the next levels, right? The key level you don't want to lose, just to keep it very simple, you don't want to break these lows. If we break these lows, you're getting accepted into the lower profile, much more bearish. But when we look at the money flow, 3-day money flow starting to cross over into the green. This is, better than anything, right? Like it's not, I wouldn't say like, send it right this second, but, you not only have the money flow coming up on the 3-day, but you also have the VWAP coming up looking to print a fresh green dot, which could indicate that could help, right? With that push to the upside. So hopefully we can get in here, target $1.21, get above that, targeting $1.81. 5-day money flow crossing. I mean, the money flow's chopped. It was just so chopped, guys. I hate this. I hate this so much. And it's just like a result of the choppy price action, right? So it doesn't have anything to do with market cipher's performance or anything like that. It's just like the choppy price action gives you choppy money flow. And that's why, like, even on the higher time frames, not often that the higher time frames are this chopped up. 3-day money flow looks good. 4-day money flow looks good as well, right? It's trending to the upside. Green dot is looking to print. 5-day looks terrible, right? 5 days just like continuously coming down. Sure, you have the VWAP coming up, but money flow is coming out. 6-day, not really anything to take away from that. I guess you could say it's trending out. Your weekly money flow is still in the green. Like, this still looks pretty good in my opinion. And as long as this money flow stays in the green, guys, like higher lows and higher highs is what I'm going to be looking for. Just wish this money flow was a little bit clearer. It's been an absolute dread looking at that high time frame money flow. Shout out to Serbil said, which monitor do you use? Shout out to Serbil. I have an AOC ultra-wide monitor in front of me. You can't see it. It's right here. I'm using it in 1080, though, which is hilarious because I have this like gigantic monitor, and it's just cropped to 1080 so you guys can see the charts. And then I have a 24-inch vertical monitor to my right for chat, and I have a 24-inch horizontal monitor to my left as just like for OBS and everything. So there you go. I keep saying I'm going to share a picture or share somehow my setup here because I know a lot of people want to see it. I just never get around to it. I'm actually lying. I'm on like a garbage lap. I'm on a Chromebook. Yo, I'm going to do that. I'm going to send a picture. It's just going to be a trash Chromebook on like a dirty folding table. Frankie, your ultra wide is MSI. Is that not AO? Oh, I guess is AOC like the line? I'm not really that. Tony's lying. It's AOC. Unless AOC and unless AOC and yeah, no, my ultra wide is an AOC, and so are my other monitors as well. Shout out to Tony D. Tony D trying to change the narrative here. Shout out to Week 589 said Frankie is a goddamn robot. He also has a built-in screen on each calf. I do. They actually extend up when I need like a 4th and 5th monitor. I'll just extend them out of my calves, and they pop up right here. But anyway, let's continue on. Bear market setup versus bull market setup. Shout out to Rockstar Cola. If you just want a quick little bearish versus bullish case here, long term, I could try to do that for you. Let's take a look. All right, so bear market setup. Like if I had to like make a guess here, right? Let's just assuming, right? Not my base case, right? Just assuming, taking the bearish stance, right? I'm a bear right now, guys. This is just a retracement. It's a trap. I'm looking for two things. I am either looking for a big 786 retracement, fake out maybe, for lower highs and lower lows to come. Lose $107,000. Get accepted into this range. Right? Massive fake out, massive rejection. Maybe even like sweep the highs again like we did up here. Come back down, lose 107K, get accepted into your macro profile. At that point, I would have to assume that high time frame money flow, like the weekly and the 6-day and the 5-day, are aggressively trending to the downside, crossing into the red, right? At that point, I am looking for bounces for lower highs and lower lows. Bounces for lower highs and lower lows. Bounces for lower highs and lower lows, right? Just kind of grinding in that downtrend. At that point, right, I know a lot of people are going to say, but what about the macro golden pocket at the value area low? That's great. There is a macro golden pocket at the value area low, right? Can't just ignore that. But when you look at this, the question is, right, like this golden pocket, just because it's a golden pocket and an area to put in a macro, right? This would honestly look pretty clean, right? It's like low, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high. So it would be a clean place to bounce based off structure. But you have to understand that trends just don't go on forever. Just because you have an area to put in a higher low here doesn't mean that it has to come in, right? And what I would use to analyze if the higher low is likely here is going to be the high time frame money flow. I covered this like almost every stream now. It's the same thing here, right? Oh my God, we have a macro golden pocket 786. Sure, that's a nice place to potentially put in a low, high, higher, low, higher, high. However, massive bearish divergences confirmed at the top, sweep of liquidity confirmed at the top, and more importantly, high time frame money flow coming to the downside very aggressively, very cleanly, if you will, right? So at that point, it's like, am I expecting a higher low and a higher high here? No. My money flow is crossed over into the red. At that point, I am looking for lackluster retracements for lower highs and lower lows. And when it's a high time frame, 6-day weekly money flow crossover, that is usually the start of the bear market. So, maybe if you got down to that golden pocket / CME gap down here, like I don't want to see this level right now, right? Like down here, maybe it would have been a little bit better to see, right? But at this point, I do not want to come back down here because if that high time frame money flow is coming out, guess what? I'm looking for something like that. That's your bear market scenario, in my opinion, right? I can't promise it's going to play out exactly like that. But that would be kind of my guess if the top is in. If the top is not in, well, what would I be looking for? If I just had to make a random speculative guess, I know a lot of people probably just like this, even though I wouldn't put a ton of weight on it, is that we hold this key level. This was our initial breakout, which has been our base case pretty much ever since we got this breakout. It's like, okay, let's come back for the retest on this range, hold it, and then put in a higher low and a higher high. This last move, I would be looking at as a final move, right? Not a start of the bull market, oh my God, up forever, $500,000 incoming. But I would expect that to be the sentiment, right? I would fully anticipate price to break out here and have people looking for, oh my God, golden bull market is never going back down. You don't understand. Bitcoin's more fundamentally bullish than ever. Everything's all good, up only. All coins are going crazy. Meme slumps, the meme trenches are back. Everyone is an expert. Everyone is calling for a golden bull market, and I am unfortunately going to have to be the schmuck up here. I don't know, guys. Looks like the last parabola. But it's only if it looks like that, right? If we get up here and it looks super, super good for higher lows and higher highs, I will look for higher prices. But if I had to guess, right, this would be kind of that like last final phase to put in that last move before putting in a top and then eventually coming back down into a bear market. But again, I can't really call that until we get up there. But right now, I would say stay above 107K. Be careful of the trap, as always, right? Be careful of the trap. I'm always careful of the trap because I want to make money on those traps. But you got to be careful of the trap. But if you can get above that 786 and see a new all-time high, I would see this as the final phase coming in. This is not going to be the sentiment, though. The sentiment is going to be we're never going back down. Buy every dip. Those are the dips that I don't buy. The dips that I would buy, not that I did buy them because I already picked up my Bitcoin for much lower. These are the dips I buy when everyone is super, super scared. Everyone is super, super scared. And both of these lows, I was calling for new all-time highs, right? Not to brag or say, oh, my God, I was right, right? I've been wrong. I will be wrong before. I'm not going to be afraid to admit that. I'm not one of those people that's going to be like, I'm right every single time. I just let you. I can't do that, right? Like, how am I going to say I'm right every time? Because if I'm wrong, I have to come up here tomorrow. I can't just be like, if I'm expecting new all-time highs right now, for example, let's just say I am. I'm like 100% new all-time highs, and then we don't see all-time highs. I can't just come up here tomorrow and say, like, told you guys we were going to dump, right? Like, just doesn't make sense. But yeah, that's kind of how I would look for it to play out, right? Like mark my words, right? Like I am on top watch on that last parabola to the upside, right? Altcoins are a little different because altcoins have a lot more room to run. But I do think at that point, right, like maybe Bitcoin goes into one more all-time high, steals the show for a little bit. Altcoins lag, right? But then we finally start to see those altcoins ride out, which would signal more getting closer to the end of the cycle for me, right? Not only from cycle perspective, but just also like a timing perspective. And of course, we'll be looking for those technical signals up there. Trust me, guys, if there's something up there that says golden bull market, we're going up forever, there's going to be something that I'll be able to call for on the charts. But if it's not there, I'm not just going to say it to keep views up, right? That's not my, that's irresponsible. I have to give the information. I've never been one of those people that's just going to like call for what I want to happen. Or if I'm bullish, I just have to keep saying it's bullish. I could be bullish and then bearish the next day. That is not me trying to hedge my bets and be right all the time. That is me making money whether price goes up or down. I have to flip, right? Like up here, we expected all-time highs, but and we got them, right? So I guess we were technically right about that. But once we see that look like a fake out, we're going to capitalize and did capitalize that on that move to the downside, and we shorted it in the premium, right? And we showed the trade here live on stream as well, right? So that's why I will flip on a dime. It's like, I think it's so funny when people will, it just shows, it's so funny, right? Because people are like, you're just saying up or down because you just want to be right. dude, I could care less, right? I want to be right? But like understanding that I'm never going to be 100% correct is what helps me make money in both directions, right? So it's like when someone's like, you just say it goes up and down, so you're right. And it's like, dude, I'm trying to make money. And it just goes to, it really exposes how inexperienced those people are, right? It's like if you are upset because someone switches their sentiment, right? Those are the people you should listen to. It's the people that are just permanently bullish or permanently bearish that I would stray away from, right? Because they have a different agenda. And guess what? Yeah, I mean, I could be super bullish today, and tomorrow, if it looks like trash, like I'm going to say that, right? Because it's probably what's going to happen. So yeah, anyway, you got to keep your emotions out of it. You have to have no ego when it comes to trading. You have to separate yourself from wanting to be right? Like, I don't care if I'm right. As a matter of fact, if I'm going to be wrong, I'd rather know as fast as possible, and I'd rather cut my losses as soon as possible, right? I don't just want to be like, I'm in massive drawdown, and then it was like, well, it'll bounce, right? It has to go up, right? Because I said it was going to go up. I'm just going to stick to that, right? Like, no. Why would you not just cut your losses and then get in on the right direction and make the money in the other direction, right? It's what keeps us. This is why we're not afraid of bear markets, right? I mean, at the end of the day, guys, I might get some dislikes on this video for saying this, but like, when the bear market comes, guys, I'm hype, right? Because guess what? It's another opportunity to make a ton of money on the way down, just like we do on our way up. So there you go. Anyway. If you think the bear market is here, the shout out to Freedom said, nah, be bullish. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, stay above 107K. My long-term bias is higher prices. My bias right now, guys, is higher prices. If we do get a small pullback here, I'm still looking for higher lows and higher highs. Let's see. Shout out to Frankie. Shout out to Meet. Damien says, Frankie, what about the Pi cycle indicator? It shows Bitcoin needs to get to 198K today in order for it to be considered the top. I don't know. I don't. Maybe I'll take a look at the Pi. Maybe I'll look into that and we'll talk about that tomorrow or something. But I mean, I don't know. It's just. If it was that easy, right? Like, you really have to be realistic. It's like if it's as easy as looking at something like the Pi cycle top indicator, and I'm not like, I don't really pay a lot of attention to it. I don't know if it's been right every single time. If it's been right every single time, I mean, listen, everybody has free will. Just listen to it. Just hold on for 198K or whatever it says. But it's like, for me personally, I just don't care. I just care about the charts. And listen, the charts are going to be wrong too sometimes, right? Like, I'll be wrong at some point on the charts, right? I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. But it's just like, it's a game of, this is how you have to change your mindset from, I want to hold on for the absolute highest price, right? That's kind of like obviously you don't want to sell your bag if you think it's going higher. But like, for me, it's, you have to change your mindset from like picking a target and just waiting for that target to understanding how the charts move, right? Like, everybody was, I don't know if it was the Pi cycle top indicator pointing towards 100K. I don't know what was pointing towards 100K here, to be quite honest. But everybody, for some reason, and their grandma was calling for 100K. I don't know if it's because it's like a round, even number. They just felt like it was going up there. It probably had a lot to do with like looking at like the supply, mining, like all this stuff, right? But like, at the end of the day, the markets follow the crypto follows the traditional markets, right? So like, you have to pay attention to the macroeconomic environment, and the charts are oftentimes going to give you those signals. So it's just like, I don't know. Like, I just pay attention. Like, what I was paying attention to last cycle was saying that this was very likely the top. Massive bearish divergences, sweep of liquidity, massive social sentiment bearish divergences, meaning retail was much more interested here. And then on the second top, they never really came back, right? So what does that tell me, right? That tells me that it looks like a top for many different reasons, right? Then you have the high time frame money flow coming out. And then even here, I remember it like it was yesterday. It honestly feels like yesterday. Everyone's saying, oh my God, 30K is going to be the bottom. It's a higher low. We're going to 100K. And I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like such a pessimist, but it's just like, I just didn't know. And I happen to be right that time. You know, it doesn't mean that I'm guaranteed to be right this time, but I got roasted for this. People hate hearing this, right? You don't want to be one of those people. I would encourage whatever you think. If you're bearish, go watch bullish people. Right? If you're bullish, go watch bearish. But like, you should hunt out the contrarian to your bias, right? Because you might have an emotional bias. But again, people were looking at 100K. I don't know what they were looking at. But what I was looking at was saying this was like a very clear top. And by the hate that I got on that post, right, on those videos that I was looking at this on, it was clear that not a lot of other people were looking at that, and nobody wanted to hear it. So yeah, I mean, I just don't really pay attention to it. Hopefully, I hope the buy cycle top indicator is saying that we're going to 100, 200K. Like, I hope Bitcoin goes up, right? It's never because I want Bitcoin to go down, guys. I hold a lot of Bitcoin. I hold a lot of Ethereum. I want all this stuff to go up. But you just have to be realistic, because if you're just senselessly bullish and you don't know why you're looking for those higher prices, guess what? You're going to wind up round tripping your bags. Not something you want to do. And if you round tripped your bags last cycle, this is probably going to be a wake-up call. And like, a lot of people are going to be much more vigilant on taking profits, right? So even if the buy cycle top indicator says 200K, I'm going to be taking profits along the way. I'm not just going to hold my entire bag waiting for that target. But I hope it does play out. I'll have to look at it. Said the buy cycle top indicator said Bitcoin topped out in April of 2021. Well, that's actually hilarious, because April of 2021 is where I consider this the actual top, right? And then this was like a dead cat bounce because of the social sentiment, right? Massive interest here, not as much here. It's literally a bearish divergence on social sentiment. So, hey, I mean, if it was right last cycle, maybe it's right this cycle. I don't know. I hope it's right. I hope Bitcoin goes to 200K. And again, if we get up to these higher prices, let's say we get into these bigger targets, guys. Let's say we get up here into the bigger extension levels. Whoops. All right, let's say we get up here into this next extension level between 137 to 156K. If it looks good up here, well, guess what? Then I'm going to be saying higher lows, higher highs. What's the next target? Well, based off our Fibonacci extensions, $209,000, which is eerily close to 196. And I could probably, we'll find local targets there as well. It's kind of hard to do before the price action gets up there. But here's the thing, right? It's not that you can't go to 198K. It's just that if it looks at toppy up here, I'm not just going to wait for 196K. I'm just not. But we'll see. I mean, there is a target at 209K, but just because I have a target up here based off my strategy, like, doesn't mean I'm just holding my Bitcoin until I get there. There's no guarantee we get here. It's more of an if this, then that thing statement, right? It's like, if we get up here, right, this would be the next place I'd be looking at as major resistance. If I get a lot of top signals up there, well, either way, I'm taking profit on my Bitcoin. I am in from $21,000 to $22,000, right? So, like, I've already enjoyed most of this bull market. So if I get up here, I'm taking profits either way. But I'm definitely not just going to hold my whole bag waiting for 200K. Even if I see that there's a good chance that we continue, I'm still going to be taking profits along the way, because everything can look good and then it just changes very quickly. It's just, if it was, I wish it was as easy. If that buy cycle top indicator is just right every time, then I will just listen to that and I won't do any TA, and I will just hold my bag until it says the top is in. I'm going to go look at it. I never really paid too much attention to the buy cycle top indicator. Let's see. ETH to 20K. Shout out to Gen Z. I hope so. Let's get above 5K first, and then we'll start maybe 10K, and then we'll start talking about some higher prices. I mean, people were calling for 20K Ethereum last cycle too. Crazy. Let's see. There is no magic pill or magic indicator or YouTuber, for that matter, outside of Frankie. I'm not magic either, let me tell you. But to tell you the real ish, whatever things are saying, contrary is usually the best action. Shout out to Baby G. Yeah, like, there's no, that's the thing. It's like, you could look at the pi cycle top indicator. By no means am I saying it doesn't work. Again, I don't really know much about it. I used to pay attention. I don't even really remember a lot about it, right? It's been like years since I've looked at it. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't pay attention to it. It doesn't mean that it won't work. It just means, like, be careful putting your full conviction into one thing. Because I think in the base mentality is, again, back to your mindset, is like the base mentality when it comes to investing, when it comes to trading, especially, and in crypto especially, it's like everybody just wants that one thing, that one magic bullet, like Baby G said. That one indicator, that one strategy, that one thing that's just going to be like, beep, 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 the top is in, sell your bag, right? Like, trust me, it's not that easy. It is, and anyone who's saying it's that easy is lying to you. It doesn't mean it's not important, though. You just got to be, if you're looking at the pi cycle top indicator, you're using TA, you're understanding everything else. It's like you could, build out a thesis to maybe make it to 200K. But yeah, it's just not my base case. It doesn't mean I don't think we can get there. Shout out to TMP Smurf, said my coworker calls TA crayons. Yo, let me see your crayons on ETH, bro. That's kind of fire. These crayons pay us out, guys. All right, let's continue on. 147K this month. Let's go. I'll take that. And here's the thing. If we do put into all-time highs, and it is going to be that last parabola, guys, it is probably going to happen very quickly. And, hey, I hope, guys. I hope. I pray. I never want to come off as like just bearish, right? Again, if we get up here, it looks good. We'll even if it doesn't look good, right? We'll have the contrarian call, right? Like we'll have the contrarian thesis, right? Because you have to look at both sides of the coin, right? Even if it looks toppy up here, I'm be like, guys, this looks bearish. I'm taking profit. I'm selling a lot of my Bitcoin. But if we can break above here and, maybe we get money flow fakeouts or whatever it is, right? Well, then that's the case where you can go higher. But until we see that, I have to be, more leaning towards downside if that's the case up there. But again, you can't call what's going to happen up here until you get there, right? That's how you wind up waiting for $100,000, right? It's like people are like, oh, well, like, they're probably calling for 100K down here. Like, yeah, Bitcoin's going to go to 100K this cycle. It's like, I mean, based off what? I don't know. Maybe they have legit things that just didn't play out. Who knows, right? I could have a legit call off TIA and it doesn't play out. Let's see. Yeah, shout out to Damien says, hey, it's not the end all. I agree. It's not the end all be all. I got to see bearish divergence, double tops, lower highs to feel comfortable calling the top. Yeah, shout out to me, Damien. Damien, dude, that's like pretty much what I'm waiting for, right? Like if these are not the bearish divergence calling the top, we'll just wait for the next ones, right? And it's always going to be assess the situation as price develops. So yeah, 100%. I just caution people not to put like 100. People will tell, people will say like long green dots, short red dots, right? Like, trust me, if you think I didn't try that, I'm not talking to Damien, but like if you think I didn't try that in the beginning, oh God, Bitcoin. Oh my God. Oh, I don't even know where all these alerts are coming from. These might be super old alerts that we had. Pushing up above the high, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, push it. And my this isn't cool. Don't be like me, guys. I'm not bragging. This was the luckiest trade ever. Should have been liquidated on this. Still pushing up on the long. This is not a good trade. Bad trade, guys. Bad trade. Don't do this. Don't do this. Money does not equal a good trade if you want to be consistently profitable. If you want to gamble, this was a fire trade. But no, not good. I don't even really want to talk about this trade too much. But there we go. I did kind of just want to check that personally. But anyway, all right, let's see. Let's see what happens here. Getting the move. Getting the move. Pull up the local levels here real quick. Back above the POC. Are we going to hit 119K right now? Come on, baby. Give it to us. Give it to us. Come on. All right. Let's see. What's the leverage on your bad trade? I don't remember. This is... $30X leverage. There you go. And if you're curious, I put personally $3,285 on the trade. So pretty much pretty much a 2X there on the investment, I guess you can call it. But again, not the way I planned for this trade. I should have been stopped out at break even on this trade, right? I should have been just stopped out at break even here. Irresponsibility, not double checking my stop losses, not double checking all my accounts. Within about $100, $200 of liquidation there. I deserved to get liquidated on this trade. Like, I wish I could just come up here and be like, look at this amazing trade, guys. Look, this is great, right? But I think transparency is really important. If you actually want to make money trading, guys, like, you have to understand, like, the reason I was talking to the premium Discord about this was because I was just talking to them on Monday without even realizing that I was wrecked on this trade, or maybe I was in profit on Monday. I don't really know. But, I was talking to them about a previous time this had happened to me, and I was like, you can make money on a trade and it could still not be a good trade, right? Like, I could get up here, guys, and just throw on crazy big trades, crazy high leverage trades with no stop loss and just hope that they play out, right, as a gamble. And it'd be really fun. It'd be really exciting. But what would happen there is all I would have to do is lose one trade and get liquidated, and then I would have to win a ton of trades in a row to make up for that loss plus some, right? So I just like to be transparent because, like, if you really want to make money trading consistently and you actually want to, like, try to quit your job and do this full time and make money from your desk, it's like the most scalable high leverage, no pun intended, but scalable, high income skill that you can learn. But you have to do it the right way. Like gambling, right? If I were to treat every trade like that, right? Where I'm just like longing, like if I got liquidated here for whatever it was, $3,300, right? And then I caught another trade here and made $3,000, right? Well, like I would still be technically in the red, which is not what you want to do. It's going to be hard to actually make money consistently over time doing that. Sure, you might make a few $1,000s in a couple of days, right? And that would be that's like nice on paper, right? Or it's nice to say it, but it's not good on paper, right? Because if you keep trading like that, you're gonna get wrecked, and you're not gonna be able to fight that avalanche of just getting liquidated, and then you get one winner, and it covers 25% of the losses that you've taken in your past trades. The whole reason, like the whole idea here of trying to remain consistently making money over time, is that you have to have good risk management, right? That trade that I took was in profit with my stop loss to break even. I should have lost that trade for zero loss, right? I should have just gotten stopped out at break even, in which case I could have taken another trade. But if I did get liquidated on that trade, say, and then I take another position, now I have to fix that whole liquidation on a trade. So when you have good risk management, you can lose I would much rather take small losses, right? Take a shot here, lose a trade. Take a shot here, lose the trade. Take a shot here, lose the trade, right? And I can lose those 3 trades in a row, and guess what? One winner plays out in full. It covers those losses plus profit, right? So you could take more, and you have to understand that you're not going to be right on every single trade, right? So that's why risk management is so important. You're not supposed to be right every time. You're not going to. It's impossible to be right every time. You're trading. The market is random, right? So the thing that is the most important is making sure your losses are smaller than your winners. You could take a ton of trades like this and then have one winner run, and you're paying yourself out, and your P&L will grow over time. If you get liquidated, let's say you have $1,000 in your account, liquidated. Now you have to put more money in, right? Then your account looks like it's reset, but you're really negative $1,000, right? Then you take another trade with no stop loss, you get liquidated. You lose another $1,000. Then you reload it. Now you're negative $2,000, right? Then you take a trade and you win, right? Let's say you make whatever, $1,000, right? Like now that one trade covered one liquidation, and chances are it's not going to be that simple, right? You're probably going to win a little bit of a trade, maybe get stopped out in profit, or maybe win a small trade. It's just going to be when you're fighting a P&L with $1,000 loss, $1,000 loss. When you're fighting a P&L like that, it's like then you win a trade, and you're like, oh, cool. Oh, I won another trade in a row. Okay, cool. Now I won 3 trades in a row. Cool. Now I won 4 trades in a row. Okay, cool. Now you're still down $1,000. Why would you want to do that, right? Wouldn't you rather take small losses, right? Have $1,000 in your account, take a small loss, take a small loss, take a small loss. Now you lost 3 trades in a row, and then one winner gets you up here. Then you take a loss. Let's say you have a losing week. You have to take 4 losses, right? Then you get another winner. Boom, right? Then you have a losing month, right? You lose 5 trades in a row, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you get a winner, right? Like that's how you want your P&L to look. When you're getting liquidated on the trades, I can't tell you how much of an uphill battle it is to get those gains back. I just happen to be, and I can't promise you that the market is going to be that nice to you. I just happen to be super lucky. I deserve to get stopped out of this trade, or not stopped out, liquidated on this trade. But for whatever reason, guys, someone looks after me. It's like, again, this is the 3rd time in a row I've actually had this happen in my journey, right? It's like I open the account and I'm like, oh my God, why am I up? Oh my God, this stop loss never got triggered. Did I never have what happened, right? And it was a mistake. But this is not how I usually trade. As far as almost getting within dollars of liquidation. I am almost never close to liquidation because I get stopped out way sooner. Very dangerous situation, right? And that's why I always say my leverage is not always equal to how risky my trade is, right? This is a 30x trade. People might say like, that's pretty high leverage. Isn't that risky? No, because it's only risky because if I get liquidated, right? But what my stop loss should have been at break even here, which means I'm never going to be near liquidation. But the problem here was I actually didn't have the stop loss set, so I did get near liquidation. But I could have been in a 100x trade here. My stop loss is at break even. I'm never going to get liquidated. So yeah. Anyway, I digress. Let's continue on. That's when you know you need sleep. Yeah, shout out to who said that? Servando Estrada. Yeah, 100%. Shout out to Crypto Knight, said, I remember running 100x with a few thousand, losing it all. Like, yeah, the bottom's coming, bro. Yeah, shout out to Crypto Knight. Yeah. And again, like it is your choice, right? Like it's always going to be up to you, right? It's your choice if you open yourself up to get liquidated, right? If you got liquidated, guess what? It's your fault. Doesn't matter what strategy you're using. It doesn't matter how good your TA is. If you got liquidated, it's your fault, right? Look within. You should never have yourself, and that's why I hesitated to show this trade, right? Because I always set my stop loss, right? Other than these few times, right? I am never putting myself in a situation where I'm risking getting liquidated on my whole position. Now, I am blessed to be in a position where if I got liquidated on that position, it's not going to affect my life. But when it comes to growing the account, that account would be totally wrecked. It would be so annoying to get past all that drawdown and make that money back. Especially if you're not like dumping more capital in to like leverage your account back up. Because now you're working with a smaller amount of money. Let's say you have a $10,000 account, you lose you get liquidated for $5K. Now that profit, you're gonna have to take smaller position sizes because you're working with a smaller account, right? So like not only are you getting liquidated and losing a ton of money on a small amount of trades, but you're also on the way back up. You're using less money to grow that account, right? So it's an uphill battle to get those big losses back. Right, so you'll feel like you're doing really good. Man, I've been crushing my trades lately. I won my last 3 trades in a row. But those 2 trades I got liquidated on, I'm still in the red, right, overall, right? Or that will be the case. So I just can't. Risk management is always, it's not the sexy thing, guys. It's not what people want to hear. They want the golden indicator. They want the golden strategy. They just want the one thing that's just going to flash and make them a bunch of money overnight. It just doesn't exist. I promise you. You can make money trading, even if you don't set your stop loss, apparently. But you can make money trading. A lot of money trading, but staying in the game is the most important part. Risk management over win rate every single time, right? You want to be able to take stabs at the market without risking your entire account. If you put $1,000 in an account and you lose 50 trades in a row, you still have like, I think, $300 or something in your account, maybe even more. Maybe it's $600. I think you have $600 left in your account if you take 50 straight losses with a 1% stop loss, right? Or not 1% stop loss, a 1% risk, meaning you're only losing 1% of your account on each loss. I mean, you could take 50 losses in a row and still have more than half your account left. And taking 50 straight losses in a row is pretty unrealistic, in my opinion. This is so true. Psychologically, also, it pays its toll. Staying disciplined and strategic is the only way. I hope some folks are listening loud and clear here. Shout out to Baby G. Yeah, I mean, trust me, guys. If there was a golden indicator, I don't care how much it costed, I would be using it. But it really, the secret to trading is managing your risk. Capital management. You are a professional risk manager, not a professional gambler. People always tell me, like, man, you hate gambling? That's weird. Aren't you a trader? I'm like, yeah. It makes total sense to me why a trader wouldn't like gambling, right? My job is to manage risk, but people get it twisted. Social media kind of ruins what trading really is. If you want to make money trading, you cannot be a gambler. And I'm not saying that you can't hit a lucky trade. I'm just saying if you do that for 3 years straight, you're almost never going to remain in the positive. So there you go. The reason people hate it, guys, is because it kind of steps on that dream of just getting rich quick overnight. If it was that easy, nobody would have a job, right? But the benefit there is what the reason this should excite you is because nothing worthwhile comes easy. If it was just as easy as jumping on here, 100x leverage with a $2,000 and just longing the bottom and making $1 billion every single time, everyone would trade. Nobody would have a job. But the beauty of that is it is hard. It takes discipline. It takes a strategy and sticking to a system, and it's a slow grind at first. But eventually you can get to the point where you're making more money in a day than you ever could have thought. You're making more money in a day than you used to make in a month maybe. But it just doesn't happen overnight. No one wants to hear that. They want to believe the get-rich-quick scheme because it makes them feel good. It gives them hope. And the truth of the matter is 99% of people just follow that and they chase that and they never become successful because at the end of the day, they don't really want to put in the effort that it takes to learn a high-income skill like trading. But I am here to tell you it is 100% possible. You just have to lengthen your timeline and stop chasing the money in the beginning. Chase the skill of trading, the skill of managing positions. Start on a demo account. Start with a small account. Go for a $5 win on a $50 account. Go for a 5% win on a $100 account because guess what? If you can make $5 on a $100 account, that's a 5% gain. That is the same thing, the same trade, the same risk management. It's the same thing as making 5% on a $100,000 account. It's the same exact thing. But if you don't build those skills, the psychological control, the risk management, if you don't understand this in the beginning, you are setting yourself up for failure. It takes a good amount of time, and it is possible. Nothing worthwhile comes easy. Trust me, I've been through the thick of it, guys. I chased getting rich quick, trying to trade for a long time. And guess what happened? It wasn't until I said to myself, let me extend my timeline. I'm going to be in this to learn the skill of trading. I'm going to do it for 2 years. I don't care if I make money. My goal is to learn and get better at the skill. If I focus on that for 2 years, right, it'd be unrealistic to think that if I actually put 100% effort in, it is unrealistic to think if I actually killed myself to try to learn this thing for 2 years, it's unrealistic to think that I would not be better in 2 years. And it didn't wind up taking a full 2 years, right? And some people, it might happen in 2 months. I don't know, right? Everyone's a little different. I'm a little hard-headed, so maybe it took me a little bit longer. Hopefully you guys are a little bit less hard-headed than I am. But that's why I'm so passionate about saying this, guys, because I literally went down that route. I tried to chase the indicators, buy, sell indicators. I tried to just over-leverage myself, and guess what happened? I just kept losing and losing and losing and losing until I finally felt like I was a crazy person just doing the same thing, expecting a different result. And it wasn't until I actually changed and accepted that it's probably going to take a long time, right? I got wrecked for so long, I was like, you know what? If I had just learned the skill and focused on the risk management and the things that actually mattered, all this last year that I've been getting wrecked, I probably could have just gotten a lot closer to actually making money. And you might think to yourself, well, I don't want to make $5. Well, then you're just going to wind up, what are you doing? If you don't want to make $5, why not? It's because you're chasing the money. You just want to get rich overnight. This is not how it works. I promise you. I've been there. And if you're sitting there thinking like, dang, like, why is this guy saying exactly what goes on in my head? It's because I've been there. People tell me all the time, like, I feel like you're talking directly to me. And it's because when I talk like this, I am talking to my old self. Stop. You're hitting your head against the wall. Stop. Right? I'm talking to my old self. And I know a lot of you guys are in a similar situation. And hopefully I'm proof that if you stick to it and you actually learn, you can make this work. But just stop chasing the money overnight. If you want to throw in I don't recommend this because it'll leak into your actual trading. If you really want to get it out of your system, make a budget for a degen account and just degen out, right? But I can promise you, your consistent account, your real account, your business account, right? Because trading is really just a business. That account will probably make more money over time than your gamble account. Your gamble account might 2x in a month, but the chances of you keeping that with those same strategies is very low. Just the truth, guys. Anyway, let's see. Slow and steady wins the race. Yes, the slow route is the fastest way to do it. In anything in life, guys. Business, anything. The slow road is the fastest way. Everyone wants the shortcut. There's no shortcut to trading, guys. I haven't found it, right? I mean, if someone has an indicator that I could set a bot up on to buy and sell, please send it to me. That would be beautiful. Stop staring at the charts. But it is, you're talking to me again, Frankie. Shout out to Rudy. Can we check Tao? Shout out to Captain. Last time, I'll ask today. Shout out to Captain. Let's take a look at Tao real quick. Just went off on a tangent, but it is important, guys. Like, I am here to help, right? And it would just be unhelpful for me to come up here and say, guys, look at this. Look at this, guys. No stop loss. If you want to be like me, don't use a stop loss, and you're going to make a bunch of money, right? Like, don't ever pay attention to that. That's not going to help you in the long term. I judge my success based off of people that we help, like Indian Martini. Indian Martini just said he caught the long on Solana, which just goes to show, guys, if you know how to take this information, sure, we have the Discord. Discord's awesome. I love it. But you just pay attention to these live streams, guys. We're free here every single day. He took the long from here, and guess what? He's making money. But you know what he did? Well, you can scrub back and listen to what he said, but he already took partial profits and moved his stop loss to break even. You know what that's called? It's called having a plan. That's called risk management. Indian Martini, I see a bright future for you. He's not just longing here on 100x leverage, hoping that it goes up, and he's not going to hold it all the way till it goes down, right? He's actually making money. Yeah, and I'm sure he thought to himself, if I take partial profits here and then it goes up here, I'm going to make less money than if I just hold the whole position. But if he thought like that and it comes back down and he doesn't move his stop loss, he's going to lose money instead of making a small gain and then stopping out at break even and living to trade another day. That's what I measure my success on. Are people saying stuff like that? There you go. Shout out to DJ Mac said, I'm stopping Frankie. Well effing said. Shout out to DJ Mac. Hopefully that's hopefully I'm encouraging people, not discouraging them. Josh says, what we should do is tip Frankie like I used to tip the blackjack dealer. My stops are hundreds in profit. Let's go. Shout out to Josh. Come on, baby. Let's go. All right, let's take a quick look at Tao. All right, let's take a look here. There we go. We tapped the golden pocket, guys. Long, 100x, no stop loss. You see me do it. Never a stop loss. Just run it on liquidation. Hope it goes to $1 billion. I'm just kidding, guys. All right, let's continue on. We're getting sidetracked. But low key, guys, for anybody out there, for the smart people out there, that whole tangent right there is the sauciest sauce I can ever give on this live stream. More saucy than a TA, more saucy than TI on any coin, more saucy than any setup I can give, more setup than any indicator or strategy I can show you. That is the sauce. And if you're sitting there, you're like, nah, just give me the setups. It's gonna be a rough road. But anyway, let's continue on. So, all right, so yeah, we're still just sitting up here. I moved this down to the bottom of this golden pocket because the top is already tapped. But I mean, we're just down at this golden pocket. Technically, the bottom is still here, sitting at about 278.47. We deviated above the high. We got back in. We could just be on our way to this point of control, to be quite honest, at 252. But this is our first key zone of support. It's the golden pocket pulled from the low to the high. If we're looking for a continuation of the overall trend, you would hope low, high, higher low, higher high, right? We didn't get it on the first tap. We've now come down, tapped it again. I mean, I guess you could still do it here. But I would just say, if we're not going to get the bounce here, the next level, if we lose the golden pocket, is simply going to be the point of control / 786 Fibonacci retracement. These are the two biggest levels on Tau. If we lose the 786, well, guess what? At that point, it's like you're already looking for a potential full fill of the range, right? There's no guarantee that you have to get that full fill. Again, nothing's 100%, not even volume profiles, although more often than not, they are correct. Your hope here is to put the higher low in on the golden pocket to break out. If you don't, you're looking to put the put the low in at the 786 POC for a massive move up and a new high. But I just don't know how interested I would be at these levels, right? To be honest, I'd probably be more interested at this golden pocket because if you come down to the 786 and you're looking for a long position, you're longing directly into resistance. Doesn't mean you can't come up. But it's just, me personally, I would rather wait for the value area low. Not saying you can't bounce here, but just as far as a trade goes, I mean, this wouldn't even be that bad of a risk to reward as a swing trade or something like that, depending on your position size, right? You can put your stop below the golden pocket if you are targeting a new high. It's like a 5.4 risk to reward. Not something I would take. It's just not part of my system, right? This might be a perfect setup in someone else's system, but for me, I generally like to trade the shorts at the highs, the longs at the lows. Right now, I'm in the middle of the range. This is usually a sit out for me, right? And back to mindset, right? If you're feeling yeah, but I want to take a trade right now. Why? Right? You just taking trades to take trades, or are you taking trades to make money, right? You have to be okay missing moves and waiting for an actual setup to present itself. So me personally, I'd rather wait for the value area low, but technically the next key level is based off your Fibonacci retracements and the POC of the range. This will be your next major key level of support. 254.27 to 235.04. Golden pocket, we'll see if we hold it. We've already kind of tapped it 3 times almost. Let's take a look at the low daily money flow trying to come back up as well. You do have a daily bullish divergence into the golden pocket. I don't typically like seeing these taps twice, but you do have the daily bull div confirmed. Started giving you a little bit of a push to the upside. Pretty small, but nice little bounce there. So, I mean, this is your key level. I could even give you some local volume profiles as well. I shall pull this on the previous balance. Let's pull it to here. So I'll clean this up because I don't want to make it super, super, super confusing. Hide the macro volume profile. And I will pull this profile. So locally, if you are looking for a potential move up, this is what I would look at, right? So you are approaching this value area low. You have bull divs down below. Actually, locally don't hate the look of this. Daily bull div confirmed. 2-day green dot is printing with a 2-day bullish divergence as you tap into the golden pocket. Check this anchored VWAP real quick. Whoops. Yeah, that's definitely not going to be around there. Okay, so no real anchored VWAP confluence there. So, I mean, this would be the local profile. This is probably what you would be looking at for more relevant kind of price action. Value area high, right? So this is the context I would look at locally. You have some bull divs down here. Check the 4-hour real quick. Yeah, even got some 4-hour bull divs with money flow attempting to come up. So I would say, right, what do we have here? Deviation above the high, back to the POC, back to the value area low. You reject the POC. This is now another deviation with daily bull divs and 4-hour bull divs. And you could argue that your 4-hour money flow is starting to look like it wants to come up. I would be careful with this 4-hour red dot, but I would say bullish confirmations below. You get back into this range. Next stop is the POC at 349.65. Flip that POC. Look for the move up to the value area high at 416.20. Again, I would personally wait for that 4-hour red dot to see what it gives us. But again, you know, there's an opportunity, right? Like if you are not going to get another pull back off that 4-hour red dot, and you just get accepted in here and come up, well, you just got to be prepared for that, right? Are you willing to miss that move? I mean, I don't know. But, you know, if you can get back down here, you can get like a pretty decent risk to reward on this, like stop below the low, and then you could just look at that as a volume profile. This is not, you know, I'm not telling you to take this trade. Just a little bit of an idea of how I would handle that, right? Like we get a nice little pullback here, find a low time frame, entry trigger, and then once you get back above that value area low, you could target the POC. This, again, would be take profit 1 for a nice little 14% move. At that point, stop loss would go to break even. That way, if you stop out, you make some money. If you flip the POC and continue up, well, guess what? You're still exposed, and you can still go up here for a TP2. And at the end of the day, you could take maybe 30% here, 30% here, or 20% and 20%, and then hold the rest of it for a potential bigger breakout. If your high time frame money flow, like the 3-day, winds up crossing over into the green and giving you an overall high time frame trend continuation to the upside. So there you go. Little sauce on Tau. Again, not financial advice. I'm not telling anybody to take that trade, but just an idea of kind of how I would handle that. So there you go. Free sauce. So we'll see what happens. And I'm kind of just going on here for a, this is more for me. Ah, that's interesting. I didn't even mean for that to be the case, but if you did, right, let's say your even 45-minute money flow attempting to come up with a green dot. Do we have a 12-hour green dot printing as well? No. But, yeah, I mean, I can't promise you'll get the pullback, but if that 4-hour red dot were to pull you back into this golden pocket retracement, could be an area to look for a higher low. Flip the value area low to support. You know, another way you could treat these is just wait for the acceptance into the profile, right? If you didn't want to enter below the profile, which I prefer because I'm entering in a very clearly undervalued area. But another way you could kind of treat that is just entering after you get accepted into the profile, right? And then you could take the entry right on the value area low. And then again, the targets would be the same, right? Targeting the POC next, take profit 1, take profit 2 at the value area high. Not financial advice. So there you go. Whoops. So there we go. There is Tau, baby. Let's go. Let's see. ETH breaking the POC. We can take a look at that. Come on, ETH. Oh, yeah. Hopping up on top of the POC. Come on, baby. Come on. Again, next target for Ethereum, if we can hold that POC, is going to be right up here, sitting between 44.76 and 45.20. Just the next stop within the profile. Very simple. And again, you do also have, I think it was pulled from the lower high, actually. Oh, yeah, no, this golden pocket also technically, again, not to confuse everybody with a ton of different levels, you know, I would expect some kind of chop around $4,400 because you do have the golden pocket sitting there. So just to be aware. Shout out to Rakan, said, what do I need to know everything? Then have your knowledge. Shout out to Rakan. I don't know exactly what that means. If you could restate that and drop it back in the chat, I'll try to answer it for you. When in doubt, zoom out is my advice. Shout out to Jesse. That is my advice as well. ENA, yeah, we could take a look at ENA. Or ENA. I know we have an ENA chart here. Okay. All right, so anchored VWAP. We actually looked at this maybe at the beginning of the week. But we have the anchored VWAP. We're attempting to hold the anchored VWAP. I mean, this is, in my opinion, a significant level, right? Because this is the anchored VWAP pulled from the absolute low here. I mean, it's kind of make or break, right? If you can get back above it, I mean, this would be a very, very nice level to hold for a potential bigger push up. I can get rid of this local fib because this is now much lower. I'll actually just adjust it. I won't even get rid of it. So I would say your key resistance here, if you get a big bounce from the anchored VWAP, is going to be sitting here between 74 and 80 cents. If you lose the anchored VWAP, I mean, the next key level of support is sitting down here between this big golden pocket and value area high confluence. You're just kind of chopping around here right on that anchored VWAP. I could try to take a look at market cipher B. 4-hour money flow trying to come back up into the green. You can also view this locally. And I will just keep the anchored VWAP there. You can potentially look at this as a volume profile, actually not pulled to current. Let me see something. I would say both of these are valid, to be quite honest. All right, so I would say locally you got your value area low. POC, value area high. Kind of the same thing we were just looking at. You have some bullish divergences here down on the 8-hour money flow, maybe finding a low there. Take a look at the 4-hour money flow generally trending up. A little. Money flow headed in the right direction. I would just still be careful, right? If we're going to get another drop down here, not only on Bitcoin, but on the altcoins, this 4-hour red dot is probably the thing to look at. But what would I be looking for? Higher lows, higher highs, based on your money flow, especially if it can continue to come up. So you have some bull divs confirmed on the 4-hour. With money flow coming up, which is a nice addition there, potentially marking somewhat of a bottom. Let's check the 2-hour. 2-hour kind of fighting there, came back into the green, back into the red. Is it a fake out? 3-hour money flow attempting to continue up. 1-hour money flow very choppy. Let's check the 8-hour real quick. Daily. Daily green dot is printing, so you guys know I'm going to go right down to that 90-minute time frame. So what I would look for a bigger move up is this an 80-minute and 90-minute money flow crossover into the green. The 80-minute already tried it and then cross back over into the red, but the VWAP is coming back up. So if you're going to get a push up here, the biggest level to get above is 61 cents at your value area low. I would watch the 90 and 80-minute money flow crossovers because the daily green dot is printing, which is, it's going to confirm in 12 minutes, so it's not the perfect setup, if I'm being totally honest. Daily money flow in the red. Rough call here, rough call. Yeah, I mean, typically what I like to see here is the daily green dot printing at the same time that you're getting the 90-minute and 80-minute money flow crossover. It's just a little difficult here because in this specific scenario, you did get that, right? But then you came back into the red. So it's like if this crosses over in the next 12 minutes, technically that would be a market cipher B116. And at the end of the day, you know, you could see the confirmation of the daily candle and then the money flow comes back up technically. But, you know, this 80 and 90-minute money flow is what I would look at to potentially give you the bigger continuation up. And the next key level of resistance I would look at is about 61 cents. If you can flip that to support, that's where you can look up towards the POC and potentially the value area high. All right, not going to be a clean shot straight up like that, obviously. We could bring up local levels within that range as it becomes relevant. But right now, I would just view this as area of balance, deviation above the high, deviation below the low, deviation above the high, full rotation, full rotation, full rotation, full rotation. So if you can get back in here and money flow comes up, I would look for the full rotation or at least a move to the POC. One thing I will say here on ENA is like I just still don't love this money flow. This money flow is, it could have faked back out into the green, yes, but from a binary perspective, right now it's in the red. But you do have the divs. Even got a 12-hour div, money flow trying to come back up. So, yeah, I mean, 4-hour money flow comes up just like on Bitcoin, right? Like the 4-hour money flow comes up, you know, the trend could continue up. And then you do have a nice little value area here just above. So we'll see. If you lose the anchored VWAP and you start cracking these lows, well, hey, you can look down toward that bigger level down here between about 47 and 43 cents. I would not want to lose 43 cents. That's a big level, right? You lose 43 cents, you're looking back down towards the 30s. So you're hoping that you bounce there. But I would say lose the anchored VWAP. You're looking down here. Hold it and get the bounce. Use this as your guide for where price will go next. So there you go. That's what I would look at on ENA. Come on, 4 and 5 hour money flow. Keep going up. So there you guys go. Let me come back in the chat here real quick. Let's see. Shout out to Jay Danzu. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for getting the membership. Welcome to the muscle, my friend. You can't leave now. You're part of the Mafia forever. Jay Edit said, hype, please. It tapped the value area high. Money flow still in the red. I took a short, and it's printing, but won't it just reverse and follow BTC? Let's take a look. It's going to take me a second. Let's go for the Bybit chart. Okay, so here we are. All right, so obviously, Jay, are you the one that took the long down here? So we looked at this back last week, looking at the deviation below. Someone said they took that move all the way through the profile. I think it might have been you. But yeah, okay, so we rejected the high, back down to the POC. So I'll just give you my overall thoughts here. Money flow-wise. Again, your 4-hour red dot could print. Could give you a little bit more of a push to the downside. But look at your money flow. Your money flow is looking to cross into the green. This tells me that the trend is more likely to continue to the upside. Does it mean that this money flow can't fake out? No, it totally can. But generally, right, this is trending to the upside. That could indicate that the uptrend could continue, right, which could potentially lead to the breakout of the range. So nice short off the value area high. I mean, one thing you could do is just lock in some profits, move your stop loss, right? That way, if it does wind up getting the breakout and this money flow crosses over into the green and gives you the continuation up, potentially targeting this golden pocket value area low zone between 51 and 53 cents, guess what? You got money on the short, you get stopped out in profit, you still make money, and then you get to move up. That way you're protecting yourself while also keeping the opportunity to make money open. But, whoops. Come on. There we go. Yeah, I would just say money flow. I would be careful of the continuation of the uptrend, right? Because obviously these ranges are going to rotate, right? But not forever, right? You're not just going to stay in this range forever and get every single, like even here. What happens? Very similar situation. You get the rotation from the low to the high. You get a rejection, right? But what is this? It's a higher low before a higher high, right? So money flow crosses over into the green on the 4-hour, right? So the anticipation there is like, well, hey, you get the rejection, you start pulling down, right? I guess you wouldn't have really seen money flow coming up too aggressively here, but it was kind of in a similar situation. You're rejecting the value area high. It doesn't mean that you have to go to the POC and the value area low if the context is pointing upwards. In this case, you get the 4-hour money flow crossover. What happens? You even get another little pullback before a higher low and another higher high, which eventually breaks you out of this volume profile. Right? So if that 4-hour money flow crosses into the green, there is definitely a possibility of seeing something like that happen, right? Where you reject the high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and then you eventually get the breakout if that money flow is going to cross into the green. So that's kind of what I would look for. If I were in a trade here, if I was in a short position here, I would probably, I mean, even your 3-hour money flow is already in the green. So these dumps, like these little pullbacks, would be looked at as higher lows and higher highs. So I would say the breakout of this range is definitely in the cards. The volume profile, like the only thing, like a lot of people tell me, like when we're ranging, right, the volume profiles are great, right? Deviate the high, go back to the low. Deviate the low, go back to the high. Deviate the high, go back to the low. Deviate the low, go back to the high. But eventually it's going to break out. And what do we look to identify that? Well, we look at the money flow, right? Now here, you start dumping out of this range, right? You get accepted back into your volume profile. Money flows in the red. Well, at this point, you could say to yourself, well, hey, we're accepted back into the range, and money flow is coming out, indicating the trend is going to continue down. You have a high, a low, a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, also filling that whole volume profile. But it's going to be a little less high probability to get that full fill of the range when your money flow is fighting against you here, saying the trend is going to continue up. And that's how you can differentiate whether you should be looking for shorts from the high all the way back down to the low, or if you're just looking for those scalps on pullbacks for higher lows and higher highs. It has everything to do with money flow. So there you go. Shout out to Jay Edits. That's what I would look for. Next key level of resistance here on hype is going to be if you could break out of this range and fill what I would expect to be a very low volume gap. We'll confirm that right now on the VPVR. There it is. High volume node, magnet for price. High volume node, magnet for price. Break out of this high. Guess what? pretty decent low volume gap, you could have a fast move through that zone into your next key level, sitting between 51.82 and about $53.08. Fast move down, fast move up. Fast move up, potentially. So if money flows crossing into the green and you hold this as support, could get that quick move up there. That's what I'd be looking at on hype. So there you go, guys. And with all that being said, I didn't even realize that we were going for so long. It's already 7:55. We're long. It's a long stream, guys. Short stream. But thank you guys for being here. I appreciate every single one of you guys. So watch Bitcoin. Let me just do one last check-in here. 118.4. She's pushing, baby. She's pushing into the top of that golden pocket. So we'll see. If we can hold on top of that POC, we could be looking up towards that $119 to $120,000 level. Just to pull this up one more time, right? Yesterday, we had where's it at? Daily and weekly MPOC. That was the last level that I was interested in shorting. Did I short it? No. Well, because there was no setup. We just melted right through it. At that point, get above this level. Next target is the POC. Slight pullback for a higher low. Higher high. Now we're above this POC. We stay up here, guys. We have liquidity sitting above. The next target on Bitcoin is between $119,000 and $120,000. Even if we got another pullback here, let's just say we fake out here and get another pullback, right? Money flow on the 4 hours still calls for higher lows and higher highs. And I covered those key levels that we want to hold in the beginning of the stream. So if you just tuned in, scroll back to the beginning of the stream to get all the sauce on Bitcoin, all the key levels, and my overall anticipation. Bitcoin pushing up as we're going. Come on, Bitcoin. Do it right now. You got 30 seconds, Bitcoin. Hit 119K. Hit 119K. Do it. Do it, Bitcoin. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. This calls for desperate measures, guys. 1 second chart. Here we are. Come on. Push it up to 119. Push it up to 119. You could do it. You could do it. Now it's dumping. Oh, my God. Now it's pumping. It's going to the moon. Let's go. Top work, Frankie. Shout out to Keith. Thank you for being here, bro. Somebody asked me where you could get CandleMafia merch. You can head over to frankiecandlestrading.com. Someone asked us in the beginning of the stream. Someone actually just ordered something on the side. I got the notification. We do have the Frankie Candles hats. We are going to be working on maybe some new merch. But if you guys go to Frankie Candles Trading, if you're interested in the fancy Richardson 112 hats, guys, you can check out frankiecandlestrading.com and pick your color of choice. Like watching races. Yeah, shout out to Dawn. We should just narrate the 1 second time frame. And Bitcoin getting a nice rollover in the 118,500s, going up for another drop. Are we going to be able to get the push down here, pushing up? We got one more second for the candle close. Here's another candle pushing up to 118,514. Here we go. Oh, big push up into the 533s. Come on, baby. Push it up, push it up. 544s, pushing it up. Can we take the high? Can we take the high? Getting another dump down here, turning the corner. I'm losing my mind, bro. I'm losing my mind. Come on, Bitcoin. Going to a new all-time high already. Oh, shout out to Rakan said he was talking about trading to consume your knowledge and where do I get it from as fast as possible, the sauce you know, and if it's free, if you could tell me where. Shout out to Rakan. Just check out the YouTube channel. The beginner series specifically is pretty much a free trading course for the Mafia. So just check out all the tutorials on the channel. I can't promise the as fast as I would actually warn against the as fast as possible aspect. Trading and learning how to trade, not only how to learn the TA, but how to learn how to manage the trades and, actually experience it. There's the pop of the high. Come on, baby, pushing up towards 119K. But yeah, just be aware. It takes time. It does take time to learn. So, I always say this, right? Like a lot of people probably don't even have the grit, right? Or the, I guess work ethic maybe to like even go to like all the information is free here on the YouTube channel, right? Not everything. We cover some more advanced stuff in the premium Discord, but for the most part, right? Like enough knowledge is here on this free YouTube channel. It's basically a free trading course, but like how many people are actually going to, like when they find out they have to watch hours and hours of content to learn, they're thinking like, oh, what the heck? I just want to like, tell me where to long, tell me where to short. I want to get rich quick. And nobody ever wants to ever do that, right? So it is going to take time. It is a grind. It does take a lot of hard work, but if you're expecting something good to happen without a lot of hard work, it's going to be a big struggle in anything, right? It's not just trading. A big old dump here, guys. The 1 second time frame. Oh, and another big dump. We're breaking structure to the downside. Once again, big pop to the upside. Can she push back up? Back into the 118.5s, pushing up towards the 6s. Oh, and we're back down. Imagine just like trading this 1 second time frame. And we're long from 118,560, and we're up $1 billion, and now we're back down. Oh, God. Shout out to Keith, said Frankie will be selling goats in his old age. Absolutely. Shout out to Rakan, said, yeah, the grind it is then. Shout out to Rakan. You got it, brother. You got it. And again, it's all for free here. So, yeah, grab your notebook and your pen and start watching those videos. They will stay on that channel for free for as long as we live. Pushing into the 118 sixes. Let's go. Push up into the sevens. Come on, baby. Give us the ride. Give us the ride. Come on, come on. We're about to print another 1 second green dot here, guys. The green dot gives us a massive push into the 700s. Come on, can we get to the 119s? Let's go. Wow, it does look really, really far away on that 1 second time frame, though. It seems so close on the 1 second. Oh, and she's back up. She's back up. Come on, baby. Come on. Make that higher low. Make that higher low. We got another 1 second green dot printing. Oh, and it got rejected. Oh, and the 1 second green dot gave us a big pop to the upside, guys. Oh, God. Long those 1 second green dots. That easy, guys. That easy. And we're about to print another 1 second green dot, and boom, we get another pop-up here. Let's go. And we got a 1 second red dot pushing back down. Guys, the stream is over. The stream is over. This is just what I do when I sign off. I forgot it was on camera. And there we go. We're getting a pop to the upside. Can we break the wick? Can we break the wick? We're looking to break the wick here, guys, at 118,745. Can we get the crack? Can we get the crack? Come on, Bitcoin. Come on, Bitcoin. 1 second green dot popping up here. And there it is, getting the push up. Can it push us? There it goes, baby. Come on, pushing us into that. Oh, my God, massive move, guys. We're pushing up towards the 119s. Come on, baby. Come on. This is actually kind of fun. Let's go, baby. Let's go. She's pushing up. Let's check that degenerate no stop loss. Long. Don't do this, guys. Don't do this. Come on, baby. Now we got to wait for 119K, right? Now we got to wait. Let's bring it back down to the 1 minute time frame. Okay, there we go. Getting that volatility. Asia waking up and pushing us into that weekly MPOC, 118,985. Come on, baby. Come on. Just joined the stream. I love it. Is this the Frankie play-by-play on the 1 minute? Yes, it is. We were just on the 1 second. And hang on. Hang on. What was that? Barbaric Puma? You want us to go back to the 1 second? Easy. Let's do it. We're about to print a 1 second red dot. Will it give us the push down? I think it might. I think it might. Here it is. Here it is. 1 second green dot. Or 1 second red dot about to print. Are we going to do it or are we going to take the high? 1 second red dot now printing on the 1 second chart. Oh, and we get the dump. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. We're getting another 1 second green dot. Will it push us into that weekly MPOC sitting right up here at about 118,983? I think we can do it. Come on, baby. Get us. Get us. There it is, baby. Bada boom. Mega giga short here from the MPOC. 100x, $250 million short from the weekly MPOC, guys. Short in the top right now. Yo, this is low-key fun. This is low-key fun. 1 second live trading starting next week. I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding. And she's pushing. And actually, some real sauce here, guys, just to kind of point this out. Why are we getting this crazy pump to the upside? Well, what did we talk about? We have liquidity sitting above here, right? We have local liquidity sitting above, and we also have some liquidity sitting above about $119,000. So if we break above $119,000, we could see another quick flush into 120K. Why is that? Well, we have liquidation sitting up here. So if we stop out all the short positions, if they are still sitting there, right, the heat map doesn't necessarily, maybe these short positions are already closed, right? But if we do have that liquidity sitting up here, which I would argue maybe a lot of them are closed, but if we are going to liquidate those short positions, well, what's that going to do? It's going to create buy pressure in the market and give us that fast flush to the upside. But we are tapping into that weekly MPOC. It is resistance. So there we are. I literally was about to end the stream saying, if we could hold this POC, the next stop is $119,000 to $120,000. And here we are pushing into that zone before we even got off the stream. You could do a channel just doing this. Shout out to Connor. Should we just make a degen channel where we just gamble on the 1 second chart? Be lit. Time to make some generational money within 20 seconds. Shout out to Sandberger. If they keep shorting, we keep pumping, baby. Stop your normality and go back to the 1 second. Come on. Shout out to Jay. Said I got to go, bro. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for being here. We'll see you next time. People won't stop shorting. Well, maybe we can squeeze up to $120,000. Come on, baby. Back to the 1 second chart here, guys. Big reject. And we're back above the weekly MPOC, guys. Back above 119,000. Sitting in the 119 ones, the 119 100s. Can we get up there? Can we crack the high? Boom, there it is, 119 175. We're going to get that move up. Are we going to be able to push into the value area high, which seems really close, but it's actually very far away on that 1 second chart, guys? Can we liquidate the shorts? Get it to push up here? Should we FOMO long off that liquidity? I don't know. I would totally watch. Shout out to Chris Klein. Honestly, guys, if I was going to do some degenerate gambling, low time frame scalping on like some crazy stuff like this, I would have to do it on a different channel. I could not do it here because, again, I like to teach sound trading strategies and how to actually make money, not how to gamble. But it would be fun, guys. Not going to lie, right? Like, I like to have fun too, right? I would never put anything into those degenerate accounts that I wouldn't be willing to lose. And I would also, every 5 seconds, say, do not copy this. You will lose all your money. But it would be fun. I think I just need a refresh, guys. I am feeling a little bit. Sounds like an auctioneer. Shout out to BR Taxi. Some people tell me my normal streams sound like a auctioneer. But yeah, I think I would love to have some kind of a change in content here. I've been doing this live stream for dang near 4 years. Is it 3 or 4? I don't even know. But yeah, I've been doing this same exact live stream in the same exact format for so long, and we want to make some changes. I just don't know exactly which direction we want to go. Frankie Gambles, that would be a fire name to make a YouTube channel for. Frankie the Auctioneer came out for a second there. Shout out to JC. Let's go. 160K tonight. Shout out to Uncle. Let's go. Have those bears screaming Uncle. Why do they say Uncle? Like when you're say Uncle, say Uncle. Why do you say Uncle? Because then like all the adults are like, hang on, creepy Uncle. Uncle. What's creepy Uncle Tim doing it? Anyway, we hit 119K. There we are. Make up another name and put a mask on, and if people know, they know. Yo, shout out to Chris Klein. At Tony D. That might be hilarious, guys. Everyone's going to know it's me. I'll just randomly be like, hey, guys, I found this really interesting YouTube channel. Totally against what I do, but might be fun to go for you guys to go watch him. And it's just me. People would know right away. Shout out to Bullish Bob said, how is your sentiment going to be if we hit 120K tonight? Are you going to close your short? I am already stopped out of my short. On cross, of course, with 5% of your portfolio. Shout out to Crypto Knight. Frankie Gambles would be awesome. Do trades on Polymarket? We just straight up gamble. I would recognize the voice for sure. Shout out to Erica. You would lose I would lose the cover immediately. I'd be like, yeah. As soon as I said Bing Bong, people would be like, I'd have to use a voice changer. Talk with a Southern accent, or I should just go full New York. I mean, it is way more. I mean, maybe it just comes out. Maybe it just comes out in the boring price action, right? Because even if we're going sideways, we can just come down onto this 1 second time frame. 119 threes. Are we going to be able to pop up against the highs here at 119.30, 354? Big old dump here. 1 minute green dot. 1 second green dot. Can it push us up? Looks like one more pullback on the 1 second red dot. Next green dot pushes us above the highs. Come on. Next 1 second green dot pushes us above the highs. Give it to us. Give it to us. 1 second, 786 hold right there. Give us the break of the high. Give us the break of the high. Come on. Come on. There it is, baby. Break a structure to the upside. Actually, hilariously enough, guys, it works on the 1 second time frame as well. But there we go. Higher high. All right, there we go. Money flow still in the green here on the 1 second time frame and back up above into the 119 threes. Let's see if we can push up against the next high here. Pushing us up here, 119.369. Oh, no. We got money flow coming out on the 1 second time frame. Oh, and it's back up. It's back up. Oh, and there we go. Another break of structure. There we go. Pushing up. Oh, boom. Boom. There we go. There we go. Come on. Come on. Push us into the 119.5s. 119.5s. Crack it up. Crack it up. Next 1 second green dot. Here we go. 1 second green dot incoming. Incoming. Commence. Oh, and it gets rejected. Next 1 second green dot. Let's hold the 786. Let's hold the 786. Tap in the golden pocket. Are we going to push into the 786? Oh, push down to the 786. Green dot. Money flow in the red. Trend change. Trend change to the downside. Now we're looking for shorts. Looking for the move to the downside. Lower highs and lower lows. Let's see if we can push into some local golden pocket 786s and short the heck out of this thing. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. This is all a joke. The stream is over. The legitimate information is over, guys. Mrs. Candles is probably so pissed right now. She's like, what is he doing? Where is he? I might just do this for a change of pace, guys. I'm not gonna lie. 1 second money flow back in the green here, guys. This is one of the best 1 second money flow crossovers into the green that I've ever seen. Can we get up there a little bit overbought? Get the next 1 second green dot. Let's continue the trend to the upside. Let's get that crack of structure here. Come on. Come on. Crack that high. Crack that high. 1 minute money flow back in the red. We got to keep an eye on the Fibonacci retracement to the upside. Oh, little bit of resistance. Little bit of resistance. Money flow looking weak. Money flow hanging on by dear life. Oh, and there's the rejection from the golden pocket. Looking to crack structure to the downside here below 119,307. Will she do it? Next 1 second red dot. Crack us below this low. Come on, do it. 1 second red dot incoming. Crack the low. Crack the low and do it. Do it. Do it. Oh, and there we go. Bada boom. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. I'll actually pull up a legitimate time frame here. But there it is. I was going to get off. I'm glad I stayed on for the 119K level to get tapped. Didn't think it was going to happen, but here we are. So there we are, guys. Flip the daily and weekly MPOCs. POC is the next stop. Flip the POC. Next stop, 119 to 120K. When we expect these levels, guys, it's not for no reason. It is for an absolute legitimate reason, based off the TA, based off the volume profiles, based off the money flow, based off the fibs. And here we are. Definitely going to be resistance up here. But again, I mean, I guess we should just bring up, that last level of resistance, which is going to be sitting on that 786 Fibonacci retracement at $120,800, right? So here we are. Again, fulfill the volume profile as well. Get rid of this golden pocket. Still looking potentially to target that 120K value area high. It is a zone, right? Obviously, it is a zone. But there it is. Flip the value area low, push into the POC, flip the POC, value area high, or at least value area high zone. But that would be the final target here at about $120,000. Once we get up there, you know, maybe we get a little pullback from the value area high, but once we flip that 786, guys, we can start to talk about a bigger move to the upside. Looking at money flow, we'll have to reassess the situation, but smash that like button if you guys enjoyed the wild 1 second time frame coverage. But thank you guys for being here. I appreciate every single one of you guys for tuning in. Smash that like button on your way out. And I'll see you guys here tomorrow. Same place, same time, right on the 1 second time frame. That's all I got. Hasta pasta. No fake out tonight. I got to run back down to Mrs. Candle. So hasta pasta. That's all I got. Frankie Candle's out. Bing bong.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming on my landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, like, yeah, you about to see me on demand, like, you know, on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah, maxed out.